There we are. Here we are. Pismo Beach and all the clams we can eat. Ugh.
Okay.
So we got everybody here today for the session. Last week we had to have a special three-man session, but everybody was able to make it here today. So we're going to get back to the regular storyline. Yay. So let's jump right into the introduction, shall we? Beginning from the top, we have AGTX the Dragons, and he will be playing Quill, our human, Slayer / Dragon Shaman / Totem of Fenrir, really. It's kind of his spirit totem type of thing, his animal spirit, if you will. He possesses the soul of the dragon god Fenrir. And he's the resident tank. You point at it, he kills it. Any other interesting facts you'd like to tell us about yourself, Quill?
No, I'm going to stay muted.
I'm going to stay muted.
Android will say it for you. He's got a big dung.
There you go. And that's why you have friends.
Real.
And that's why you have friends. Because you will say things like that. So that's Quill, everybody. Moving to our next player, we have Icy Hot _2305. And he will be playing our half drow, half human Zoltan Heisenberg, the deep druid. Not your mama's druid. He doesn't get his powers from the top side, the fields and forests and things like that. No, he gets it from the deep places, caves, mountains. That's about it, actually. That's about it. That's about it. That's where he gets his powers from. And you could say he's kind of the antithesis of what a druid is supposed to be. But he does what he does. And that is Zoltan Heisenberg. Then we have, let's see, Kassid 69.
Ayo.
And she will be playing Agargus, the Mycetid Pion Mender. A Mycetid's basically just a humanoid mushroom type person. The Pion Mender is a homebrew class, basically just a healer / buff machine. And the Mycetid subrace that they are is a androgyny, meaning that they're neither male nor female. They are just completely plant. That is, and they are absolutely terrifying if you don't know what they are. Absolutely terrifying. And that is Agargus. Then we have Tempest Inferno. And they will be playing Otis Hirokin, our halfling / halfling, like that's his class. Halfling cleric / favorite soul / champion of Obot High. And the thing about Otis is, and we could go all the way back into his history and everything, but really, the thing about Otis is Otis is one of the returning members of the group, one of the OG members, and he found himself in a bit of a pickle, but he has returned now. And you could say that Otis is one of those funny little halflings that is, through his adventures, has become incredibly self-aware and is probably the only halfling you're ever going to meet who might have a bit of an anger management.
Well,
A
me,
bit.
never.
A
Also,
bit.
Otis should never take the reins and be in charge.
He did. He did fine last session. He did fine, but he was in charge, and he did fine last session. Actually, he did all right. He did all right. He came up
That
with
was luck.
plans, and
I am also with the dog. No comment.
so that's Otis. Everybody, that is Otis. Then we have Mindoc, who will be playing Mindoc. Another one of
Should be in
the
charge.
who should
No.
who 100% believes they should be in charge. And then Otis is like, no. Mindoc is another one of the OG members who left for a while and has returned. He is a high elf wizard. And yeah, there's not too much I can say about Mindoc that won't ruin any kind of plot lines that are going to eventually come up in this session now, or maybe not in this session, but in further sessions. Yeah, there's not too much, but you'll see as our sessions progress and everything. Eventually, Mindoc leaving and returning and everything is going to come up, and it is going to be addressed. It out of everybody the party expected to see, Mindoc was not one of them. So, old wounds, you might say, old wounds. And then, last but certainly not least, we have Android, who will be playing Android Farisen, Lord Android Farisen, I should say. Who,
Yeah.
yeah. Oop.
Who also should not be in charge.
Nah,
The-
he need to be in charge.
he is the self-proclaimed leader of the party. He is a bard / paladin, which our paladin is a prestige class that makes it all killer, no filler. / Saint of Corlon Larethian. And what can we say about Android other than the fact that he is the mouthpiece of the group mostly, and he is the self-proclaimed leader of the party, or he is the self-proclaimed main character, unless things need to die. Then he lets you Quill have that.
Contrastingly to you, Quill, he's got a small wiener.
Just trivia, you know.
Is
Little factoids that the listeners need to know.
get out
There will
your
be a quiz later.
get out your bingo
Yeah.
cards, kids.
Exactly. Get the bingo cards ready because this is a group, ladies and gentlemen.
this will be on the test.
Hee
And
Nothing but a thing.
and I am your humble DM, Lord Pog, and welcome to Lord Pog Gaming. And I'm being joined by them old school gamers. We play 3.5 D&D, so I hope you all enjoy it. We play a very broken 3.5 D&D. Very broken 3.5 D&D. But it's 3.5. And
Fine.
yeah, let's roll that beautiful intro, huh?
Better and better every time.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, I tried to take the reins for that last time. Wasn't as good.
I said, like, we came back and it was quiet, and I was like, I just realized Android's not here to be like, what a beautiful intro or whatever. And then Otis just jumps in and goes, oh yeah, beautiful intro. He just jumps in like, I was like,
Being as
well,
sarcastic as possible, you just, that was the best intro ever.
I know. I was like,
It's not the same, I know, but I tried.
yeah. So let's recap for the group what has happened. Group wise, not last session, just group wise. Last session is well, the reason why I say that is because last session is purely up to the players involved in retelling that to the rest of the party.
Well, the competent ones.
Oh, so yeah, we'll never know then.
There's a strong possibility of that, yes, but
that's lost to the so-called cockles of history.
the cockles. I knew it. I knew if I didn't say cockles, somebody was gonna say it.
It was here.
That's right.
It's strong with this group.
The cockles exist.
Get
That's
the big
right.
arms out. You thought we made it.
That's right. The cockles exist. That's right, Zoltan. You get your powers from the cockles. The cockles. All right, so
we forgot.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the debauchery. That is our D&D session. Please let your kids listen.
all this
It's
decadence.
wholesome.
All this decadence.
The most wholesome thing you'll ever listen to.
Bro, the most.
Better than church sermons, let me tell you.
10 times.
Well, anyway,
You only learn the greatest lessons here at our D&D sessions.
Exactly.
I am not gonna say that there is any life lessons to be learned here, but if you do learn a life lesson from us,
There
well,
is a ton. We are the paramount of how to live your life in pure yeet fashion.
I ain't here to save the children, but if one feels like he relates, that's great.
I never said it was here to save the children. I'm all for the calling. I don't know who like you.
So,
I mean,
Eat the
I learned a lot
iPod.
from first session back, like if you come across a giant mushroom creature, make friends with it.
Yeah, fair.
We'll walk outside one day and just see an adult throwing a child and the child screaming, "I Otis!"
Facts.
if
Big
I ever see that in my lifetime and I see people out on the, I'm gonna call everybody up and then I'm gonna put everybody on a live stream and be like, "We did it, guys. We did it.
We've arrived."
Somebody walks up to me, "Are you that DM, Lord Pog?" And be like, "Yeah," and they're gonna slap me across the face and be like, "Yes, the power of Christ repels you." I'm gonna look back in the camera and be like, "We really did it, guys. We really did it." Anyways, all right, so okay, to recap real quick. Yeah, you guys are in the underworld. You're trying to accomplish several things. One, you're trying to take care of a deal you made with Lord Farun. And in order to do that, you first have to find a watering source for the Lost Mycetid. And the Lost Mycetid are like Mycetid, like Agaricus, only they're not a part of Mycetid society. And so they've become a little mutated and whatnot. You're also looking for Zoltan's time frame, his hourglass, and it's just a step-by-step process. And I suggest any of you Golden Wonders out there start. Season 1 is a little rough to listen to, so you could easily just pick up these sessions at Season 2 and be completely comfortable. But I do encourage, if you've got the rest of your life, to listen to the 5 hours that we dedicated to a lot of the sessions in Season 1, well then that's great. But on your way there, you have run into this undead monstrosity known as a Devourer. And what you have been able to discern about this thing is that it is basically a phylactery for a lich. It's a husk, basically, for the soul of a lich of some sort, making it an intelligent undead and very powerful. It's capable of doing magic. It is extremely spell resistant, and you guys have been trying to fight it and succeeding and not succeeding at the same time. It's been a tough little battle for you all, and that's where we pick up, is in the middle of that battle. Now, if everybody remembers their positioning. Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell y'all. that laugh is, I'm gonna take as a no, but that's fine, because
I may or may not have slept a little bit since then.
Yeah. And it's, before we even really get started, let me say it's good to have you all back too. It's good to play the session with a full group, and yeah. So, the positioning of everybody is Otis is currently riding on Cassius, his celestial griffin, and he's attempting a turn check, a turn undead against the Devourer with the assistance of Android, who is lending him his aid, as it were. We have Agaragis downright with them, who's doing their best to keep them good and healed, because the Devourer keeps like smacking them. We have Zoltan, who's currently in flight, but he's just kind of hovering, and he's off to the side of them. He's off to the right of them, and he's studying the Devourer, trying to figure out what he could do to take it down. At the Devourer's location, which is probably about 50 feet or so away from the party that I just mentioned, we have the Devourer, who is gearing up for some kind of attack. We have directly in front of him, we have Quill, who is tanking it and doing his best to smack it around as much as he possibly can. We have behind him, we have Mindoc, or behind the Devourer, who putting him in a flank position. We have Mindoc, who has turned himself ethereal or ghostly, doing his best to also figure out a way to hurt this thing. And then we have and then behind, probably about 20 feet away from Quill, behind him, we have Solar, Android's Celestial Eagle, and Ruckus, Zoltan's animal companion, who is a displacer beast, but not your typical displacer beast. Most displacer beasts look like panthers, kind of, but this displacer beast is a little bit more bulkier, and he's got leopard spots. He looks more like a cougar than he does a panther, which I know technically a panther's a type of cougar, but you know, that's why I said leopard. He looks more like a leopard. Yeah, and that's where everybody was at, and you guys are gearing up to fight this thing. And before anybody has a chance to do anything else, and I am somewhat dismayed by this because I had a whole slew of plans for this, but it just seemed too good to let this go. So I'm gonna play fair about this. At one point, Android, you're standing there, and hold on a second, guys. I got a lot going on. All right, sorry about that. Had to pause for a second. Okay, so I had a lot going on, and it was like all of a sudden I had a whole bunch of background noise going on. It was making it hard for me to think about what I was trying to say. Yeah, so Android, you're standing there. We're gonna pick up with you. You're standing there assisting Otis, and for whatever reason, you see this black mist start to roll in on the group. And you are fully aware of what this mist is, correct? You know that this is a...
I'd like to
Ah.
think so.
Yeah, you know that this is somewhat of a summons or something, you know? It has been a while since since this has happened. You kind of, maybe you could say you kind of forgot, or just thought that maybe perhaps the gods just don't do it like this no more, you know, with you guys. But for whatever reason, it is happening here and now, and it rolls over all of you, and then it's gone, and you have no recollection of what just happened. But you look, and everything seems paused, like nobody's moving. Otis, Mindoc, Zoltan, everyone is just completely is completely stuck, as it were. And you hear a familiar voice begin to speak to you. He doesn't show himself physically, but he tells you, he says, my saint, how has things been for you?
So everything's like paused?
Yeah, like time has stopped. You can suddenly, you feel the presence of Coralon, but you cannot see him.
I think Android's just gonna be is just gonna be silent for a minute, you know what I mean? Like, oh. He's gonna think for a moment, and he's gonna be like, that is a good question. I don't, I'm not sure that I know myself.
As I see, have I displeased you in some way?
He kind of thinks for a minute. He's like, because he doesn't want to lie, and he's gonna be like, not to a degree wherein which I was unable to reconcile it, or I suppose he kind of raises an eyebrow, you know, thinking about it.
As well, our kinship, you and I, goes beyond just the idea of servitude when it comes to you and me. And I can see this sadness that seems to be growing in you. Somewhat of a rage, one that you had thought you had overcome, perhaps. And it's important to me that you don't feel as if you're alone in this. I did not make the decisions that I made in any attempt to keep you in the dark. No, in fact, I knew that eventually certain things and the matters at hand at the time were going to eventually be revealed to you. I only sought to shield you from them for as long as I possibly could. And perhaps I was wrong in doing so. Perhaps you deserve to know what you went through in the 9 hells the whole time. But you have to understand on my part that though time works differently, it is still time. And my time in that matter was short. And so I had no choice but to not return you broken. And again, perhaps I was wrong. Perhaps you shouldn't have had it hidden from you at all. Who's to say? What I did was ill-advised on my part. To be sure, there were others, one greater than I, who said that I shouldn't have gone about it in such a way. But I still chose to. For that I am sorry. But you need to know that you are not alone.
He kind of thinks on this for a moment, and he says, I've come to understand by your wisdom that in times of war, there's no time to explain yourself. He kind of, shrugs a little bit. He's like, you made the best decision that you could when something just needed to be done, which is more than what could be said of, well, we mortals.
Because, my goodness, dude. I just took a drink of water to try and get that. He says, I'm still pretty new to this whole thing. Which is kind of an unfathomable concept for you. I can't really explain it any more than that. But I am rather new to everything that I'm trying to do. I am, in a lot of ways, still operating as if I were myself still mortal. There is a lot of changes going on around me at the moment. Whilst we do our best to aid you all in the coming darkness. And I think it is time that I play one of my hands in this game. You are no longer just a saint of mine in name. Now it is time that you show the gifts that Corlon Larethian bestows upon his saints. And with that, it's like you suddenly develop like sight beyond sight type of thing, Like you can see, it is like your body begins to float feels like it's floating, and the whole battlefield becomes small. It's like you can see every piece on the board, every fighter, all the party members, the devourer, all of that. And just beyond the devourer, you look just a little ways down and you see deeper in there, you see that there are in fact actually two devourers. There have been this entire time. And the one you are fighting isn't actually the the worst of the two. The worst one is the one that's standing in the is standing in the darkness. And it is kind of like a conduit for the other one. All this magic it's doing and all this shielding that it has and everything, it is coming from that one devourer, feeding it to the other devourer. And you watch as you watch this celestial hand, or not celestial, but ethereal hand suddenly appear and smite the one acting as the conduit. It's like you watch as the soul is ripped from that devourer, the one that's acting as the conduit in the shadows, and you watch as it's crushed and destroyed, and that devourer falls and dies, and then it's gone. And you are now standing there once again with next to Otis, and time has still stopped, and Orlon is still standing there with you. So, well, you feel his presence there with you, and he says, "My saint, show everyone what a saint of Corlan Larethian can do. From here on out, your special gifts can be used in conjunction with others." He says, you've done it once, and you can do it again. All that I ask is that when you do it in my name. And let the world know that the gods are not gone. They are merely changing. And so from here on out, Android, you are now capable of, as a saint of Corlan Larethian, you have gained two saint-like abilities. There will be more in the future, but right now, as a saint of Corlan Larethian, you are capable of aiding in turn checks with Otis, and you are able to pass on your smite evil to other party members when they are and it doesn't have to be a physical attack. You could pass it on to Mindoc. Say Mindoc's about to do like a magic missile or something, you could pass that on to Mindoc or something, and he could combine his magic missile with a smite evil type of thing. You are capable of it goes with your lay on hands ability. It is a type of laying on hands. From here on out, when you lay on hands now, you don't have to just heal. You can choose between helping with turn checks or assisting in smite evil, as it were. And you yourself can turn undead now as well. So there is that.
Gangsta. Autobots roll out.
Yes, as a saint of Corlan Larethian, some of your saint abilities now allow you to do that. Yeah, I would just say it's a type of laying on hand. Notes about it in your bill, with your lay on hands now you can heal, transfer smite evil, assist in turning undead, and or turn undead yourself. But other than the turn undead, right? Your turn undead doesn't have as far of a range as say Otis's. Yours is up to 30 feet. And yeah, it's not as powerful as Otis's, but combined with Otis's, it definitely makes Otis's more powerful than it already is. Plus something else. With the other ones though, you have to be able to lay on hands to do it. So, in other words, if you're going to transfer like a smite evil or something, you have to do it like a lay on hands and touch whoever it is you're gonna do that to, or assist in Otis's turning undead. You have to be able to touch him. Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You said that turn undead is 30 feet?
Yes, that turn undead is 30 feet.
Okay.
And also, your healing has become more powerful too. Your healing. But, yeah. Because originally it was just, how does that work with your... You get an extra 2d4 when you're rolling your... So you're able to heal just a little bit more potently with your... You know how like you...
I lay on hands, it's like a...
You're transferring points. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like you'll get to whatever it is you do, you can throw it, you can roll 2d4 and buff that just a little bit.
Oh, so an extra 2d4 to each lay on hands?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Think of yourself as kind of a... as an apostle at this point. You know?
Yeah.
And there will be more to that later. You have unlocked the first level of being a saint. And you come to realize all these things as you suddenly everything begins to move back into speed up again. Like it's like time hasn't stopped at all, and you're not sure like what's going on, but you're now like sitting there next to Otis, and Otis, you're beginning your turn check and everything. Now Mindoc, Otis, and Zoltan, you guys are surprised to see that there is a devourer still there. Especially you, Mindoc, because you could have swore you saw, you know, you could say that you guys feel like you've been hustled a little bit.
Do I see a change in it with the greater arcane side I have access? Is there any like...
You do. You see that its magical defenses are completely gone. You see that the resistance is completely gone. It doesn't have any magic resistance all of a sudden. Like, as you guys have been returned to your, to your positions, we shall say, it's like you never were gone. That's the thing. I want to point that out to Zoltan specifically, because Zoltan's never been through that before, but it's like you guys just never were gone. It was like,
yeah,
you know, what you have been through happened like in the blink of an eye. It feels like it's strange the way that it works, but you have returned as if you were never absent. And yeah, we do continue battle though. We do continue battle, and I believe the way, I don't think it was, well, because of the way that works, I need to roll for the Devourer, first of all. And then somebody needs to tell me what they want to do. Because
Well, if I remember correctly, I believe that you held off on androids and on turn and check.
that's correct. Okay, so I rolled for the Devourer this time. Gets to okay. The way this is gonna work, yeah, it is. It's your guys' turn. You guys are gonna try and do your turn check, and then yeah, and then we'll see. We'll see where we go from there. So, with the assistance of Android, who is now, for whatever reason, the one thing that has changed from when you guys left to coming back is now Android's holding your arm. Like, he's just got a hand placed on you, Otis, as he's
Otis is just gonna kind of look at it and then look at him like, you good?
Android's eyes are closed like the Buddha. No, I watched Shaolin Soccer last night and it just reminded me of that. No, he's just gonna kind of nod at you. You know, he's not gonna say anything. He's just gonna give you like an assured nod. You know, like, let's do this. Let's fucking nuke this thing. In the name of Lorethian.
All right. So am I just rolling normal roll, or am I?
You are going to roll your normal roll, and then I will tell you how this is going to work. Yeah.
Okay, give me a second.
So it's in a funny way, it has changed. Okay. So you rolled a 9.
Not good.
Well, okay, so what happens now is Android's assistants is here. Did you add your cleric level to that? Oh no, that's damage.
That's the damage.
Yeah, that's damage. My bad. But you added your charisma modifier. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Android, what is your charisma modifier?
That is a 6.
6. So, okay. Oh my gosh, do I not know what 6 plus 9 is off the top of my head? I sure don't.
That's good.
15. Yeah, it's like, that's okay, so you succeed in the turn. So, this time, Otis, you begin the turn. What does that look like for you, like when you initiate it this time? How, is it still you just point the rose at him and the rose just blossoms and blasts this thing?
Yeah, pretty much. Just with the look of anger for the devourer.
All right, so yeah, you just point your rose of Obad High at him, your mace, and it looks as if the rose just like spins. The rose head just spins as the petals open up, and it's like it blooms. It's just a and boom, out shoots this celestial green light of holy light of life as it blasts this thing. But as that's happening, you notice on your arm, Android's hand begins to glow this like celestial golden light, and it seems to fill you with like an extra essence of holy what is the word? Well, holy essence, I guess, as it combines with the rose and it reinforces the power of this thing. Go ahead and roll your damage, and when you roll your damage, okay, so do, let's see, 9 plus, so do your damage 2d6 plus, well, okay, 2d6 plus your
That's my cleric level, my charisma modifier, and what else?
plus android's charisma. So
That was 6.
Hmm?
His charisma modifier was 6.
yes.
Correct. Correct.
So that's 34 points of damage. So, boom, you blast it, and it doesn't kill it, but it hits it with such a force that the thing, like, you Quill and Mindoc, you guys watch as it begins to cower. It takes the 34 points of damage, and then you watch as this, because it is a large creature. You watch as it hunches down, like just crouches down real low and begins to like quiver right where it's standing. You know, it's just cowering in front of you two now, Mindoc and you Quill, because you guys are the closest to it. But everybody, even Zoltan, even at his distance, he sees it crouch down and cower. The Cassius, Solar, and Ruckus watch it cower down. Perhaps Agaragus does, but I think Agaragus is actually not paying too much attention to the actual fight as much as they're just paying attention to what's going on with you guys to make sure you guys survive. But it does. It what's that, Agaragus? I'm sorry.
Oh, I said accurate.
Accurate, yeah. Yeah. Agaragus can only do one thing at a time, guys. They're not all over the place. Anyways, but like, yeah, you guys watch as the thing just cowers down before you guys, and just it starts to make like a weird noise. You know, if it could cry, this would be it crying, but it's just kind of like, and it's just now fallen and just crouched down into like almost like a fetal position, just in fear, and its body is shaking. You guys are still in combat, and it will remain this way for 10 rounds.
Ooh.
Starting now.
Ooh.
I have a stupid idea.
Kills it. Okay, so to clarify, just as a quick interjection for my own clarification, I guess, is you said that the ethereal hand crushed the other one that was in the darkness. Was that like an actual active thing that happened, and that's why the magic resistance on the current one is down? Or is
Yeah, that's something that happened. You're not entirely sure what that was about. You just know that there were 2 devourers, and one was feeding the other one. And the one that was feeding this one is dead. Something came in and killed it, yes.
Okay, so the other one is dead though. Okay.
Yes.
Just making sure that wasn't like a figure out a puzzle.
Yeah, no. No, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Like I was telling you, Mindoc, like everything about this thing has changed. It no longer seems as like buff, as it were, you know? Like its resistances are down. It doesn't seem that magical at all to you. In fact, like it's just got a hint magical aura to it. The faint magical aura to it could be you're determining is that, well, it's undead and it's alive.
Right.
But like it's lost all its vigor, as it were.
Can I make just like a spell check or something to look at maybe like see if I can recall any sort of markings that were on it or anything that wouldn't have necessarily changed or like shrunk with muscle loss or whatever, and like basically just try and determine if I think this is the same one in fact that we faced before leaving.
Sure. I mean, yeah, you sure can.
Unless it was like transported.
You guys hit that for 43, correct? 43 damage?
I thought you
Yeah,
said-
34. It
30.
is 34. Okay.
Oh, really? Goddamn cave dust falling in my eyes.
Yeah, so you're oh yeah, Crow is back too, by the way. I forgot to mention Crow.
Yeah.
I haven't been with Crow long enough to always remember him, but yeah, just off the top of my head, yes, Crow has returned as well, so you guys are back with Crow, but
Good.
the yeah, you begin to like look it over because you know something's weird. It was like, I will say, using your arcane sight, you know, and all that,
Hmm.
you are particularly perturbed about this whole thing because it's like, for a split second there, you saw like a stream of magic, so thin it looked like thinner than fishing line, right? Very, very deceiving. Like, had you not known to look for it, you would have never even known it was there. See what I'm saying? And it seemed to be leading off of this thing, and then when the flash of this thin stream of magic happened, it's like it broke. It broke. That's when you saw all the magic on this thing dissipate, like all the defenses and abilities and everything that it once had. That's when you saw
Right.
all of it just poof, go away. But as far as like searching the thing over its, you know, yourself, for all intents and purposes, other than just looking a little bit more pitiful now, still quite unnerving to be looking at, you know. I don't see Mindoc being the type to like actually allow himself to touch this thing to kind of look it over, you know what I mean? Maybe poke it with a stick or something and be like, hello, you know. But other than the fact that it seems to have lost a lot of its muscle mass, for all intents and purposes, it looks the same. It appears to be the same
Right.
thing, you know.
Little slither of magic. Hmm.
Yep, it just had
Um.
I will let you roll a spellcraft to try and determine, perhaps if you can discern what has just happened with its abilities
Well, of
and
course.
stuff.
36.
So you contemplate this for a second, and the best you can figure is that thin stream of magic that was very deceptive. First of all, you're like, that is very deceptive, because it's almost like it's built to hide from people who can discern magic real well, you know?
Yeah.
It's almost like somebody casted a net of magic on this thing and was holding on to it with that real thin stream of magic that you could not, you know what I'm saying? You would have had to look really, really hard to find, you know?
Right.
And that string broke. And since it is broken, now the net itself is useless and it's gone. And this thing is considerably weakened as a result of that.
Okay.
And you make a note when facing certain things that seem unnecessarily impossible to attack magically. Perhaps it's because they're getting their abilities from somewhere else. You know?
Hmm.
There are things out here who are capable of casting nets of magic to buff things like this. Specifically designed to hide it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll. One. Elk states aloud. If not apparent to any of you, its magical defenses have dropped, and ask, are we capable of incapacitating it without, well, killing it? Killing?
Without without killing it? It's already dead.
You're just declaring that out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, Android's gonna be like, yeah, we'll all take a moment to thank Coralon after this. As for not killing it,
No, it's going to die.
yeah, and kind of like I'm more on board with killing it. I'm sure Solar will be too, but I mean,
Solar just states
No, we're
it shouldn't exist.
it shouldn't exist. No, we're killing it.
It's a phylactery. I should like to attempt to probe its mind and find what information I can about its creator.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Kind of just do as you will, and then I'm actually going to just go ahead with a fucking try and make a probe mind work while they do what they do.
What is
And real quick,
Oh, yeah.
Android's gonna be like, for once,
Perp
that
thought.
sounds like elf talk to me.
what is out of curiosity, because the one who's been going toe to toe with this thing at the moment has been you, Quill, this entire time, and they've been locked in combat. Now you, Quill, you thought you were getting ready to have this like all out brawl with this thing, and you've just now watched Otis and Android like turn it like basically make it cower before everyone. It is just crouched down, this big old ball of eldritch disgust. And and I would say at your feet, but even at large, it's just become like, because it's balled up now, just crouched down, it's just become like the size of a very large rock that if you wanted to, you could like easily climb up onto, and stand on it like a boulder. But what is you, Quill's, thoughts on this now that you're like looking at this thing just sitting there cowering before you, that once looked like it was ready to take you there, you know what I mean? Like it was ready to go there with you.
Yeah, it was ready to throw down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, he's probably just like mostly confused. Like, the fuck? I mean, I don't imagine he's paid much heed to what they're saying behind him or anything of that nature. You know what I mean? So he's probably just like, kill it till it dies is his mindset.
Right. And in front of you, you do have Mindoc, who is, on the other side of this thing now. And so you can look kind of across it, but not really, because even at its size, Mindoc is still kind of hidden behind it. But you can hear Mindoc talking over from the top of it, being like, I want to keep it. Basically is what he's saying. Like, I want to preserve this thing. And you can hear you can hear Android and Otis behind you saying no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, actually, I don't think you, Quill, would have listened anyways to my dog at the moment. He would have been like, fuck you, buddy.
It's an interesting noise you're making.
It's not a toy. Like, I want a shiny fucking thing. Looks worse than her asshole after I get done on a weekend. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's his mindset. It's like it needs to die. Fuck you mean?
Well, technically, everybody's still in combat. Because, you know, the way our combat works now, it's not like one at a time type of thing. It's just everybody decides what they want to do with it.
Kill it.
Zoltan, what are you doing now that you've watched
I am
this whole thing
gonna
transpire?
cast Binding Winds on it again.
Oh, he's like, not again. Yeah. All right. So you guys watch as Zoltan casts Binding Winds on it, and it constricts and now is being held. It's like you watch as this. Well, what does Binding Winds look like for Zoltan? What does, you know, when he casts something like that? Because I know what it is. It's you're basically turning air into like a type of rope to hold it. You know.
So, well, you know, since I'm already flying, I would envision that it's like a whole deal of winds. Like as he's flying, the wind around him starts forming up to his arm, and then just cast out like a lasso and wraps him around.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so you guys just watch as Zoltan just casts a lasso of wind from his arms, and it just whips out and boom, Red Dead style, and just wraps around this thing, and he cinches it up, and now it's held into place by a swirl of wind just holding him, you know, and tied up basically. What about Agaragus? What is Agaragus doing at this point?
He's just kind of like calmly watching because it looks like y'all got it handled.
Nice. Garagus is like, well, did my job.
Done here.
Dusting the hands off and everything.
Yeah. These guys are alive. Well, yep. Looks like
It looks like a good day.
looks like I saved the day.
I'll hold a dinner in my favor later.
All right. Well, it did have, for its turn, it did have a move. It had an attack and a move, so I was like, ooh, nice. If by some miracle they F up this turn check, even with everything I'm giving them, oh boy. So, it can't attack, it's bound, and it can't really move, so it's just gonna kind of sit there and just shake uncontrollably. It's freaking, you know, you guys notice that inside its mouth, that face has disappeared. It's just like, it is what it is now, and its dead yellow pus eyes are just kind of looking at you guys just deadpan, and its body is just shaking, and it's just looking around like, you know, it doesn't know what to do.
I was just gonna say out loud, like, oh, so it did work. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Despite that and the whole ghost form thing, my dog will actually like kind of flirt back up a little bit, just like, you know, a couple meters kind of away from it, just a little bit out of its range. While he does this probe thoughts, and just let the others fight it, you know.
So you're casting probe thoughts on it?
Yep.
It is how do I describe this?
With words, usually.
Well, I'm trying to think of how best to how, like, in what way these words need to come together.
In a sentence.
I want you to
you're
think
right.
I want you to think of a record, right? I want you to think of a record that is turning, right? That is just skipping on the same part. You know? Just and you can't really make out the words. They're in some kind of language that do you know Abyssal?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
I do.
Okay, so yeah,
Oh,
I know.
this was a hands up moment.
Also,
Well-
keeping in mind this can be images as well. But go on.
Well, okay, so in a weird sort of way, even with the imaging, like you could say you're getting all of that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
the image that you're getting looks like a what is those called? Zonophone? Is that what those things are called? An old timey record player, with the big old horn attached to it and everything, and it's yeah, it looks like one of those, only instead of being like the bright brass and everything, it looks like the metal on it is tarnished and worn and a dull gray. The wood is black and chipped away and everything, but the record is on it and it's playing. Only whatever's playing it, instead of having the needle that you lift and set on the record, you just see a singular hand coming from like out of the frame, so you can't even see what the hand is attached to, but it looks undead, almost spectral, like with a long fingernail that is touching the record as the record spins, as if the fingernail itself is acting like the player, the needle for the player, and the record itself isn't this perfectly round disc. It looks like it's been melted a little bit, so when it turns on the player, it wobbles a little bit. And it's just the language itself sounds like sort of like it's abyssal, but it sounds like a chant of some sort, and it just keeps saying, "Come alive, come alive, come alive, come alive," and it's just saying that over and over and over again. And there is a slight tinge, you could say. In fact, I'm gonna need you to roll a will save.
Oh,
Now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh,
Damn.
good.
he's like,
Yeah.
cool. You get all this information, but don't freak the fuck out.
Basically. There is a
Don't just start drooling on yourself.
so
That
getting
is a 19.
yeah, so getting that information, you can only hold on to this for so long before you have to break the spell. You just have to. Whatever it is
Right.
you're witnessing there, you're seeing something that is like, there is no way that that image is a accurate depiction of what you're seeing. It is the best way to describe the unholy machination that it took to make this thing. And it's like, it's just, for whatever reason, whatever has happened here, you've broke it, and now it's just stuck on this loop. And there's just something about that hand, that spectral hand. It feels like you saw something you weren't supposed to see.
Mm,
That hand is more than just a hand. It's like it's a hand, but it's not a hand. It's like the hand itself was a machination to replace a hand that maybe once was. And you're trying to work all that out in your head, and it doesn't make any sense to you whatsoever. And yet, you can't bear to hold it anymore. Just, you can't.
yeah.
Just can't. That is, it feels like it's beyond you. So you whisk it away, like, and you find that there are definite beads of sweat that have formed on your forehead. Now your head is glistening a little bit from the sweat of what you just saw.
So Maddox is floating above this, like cross-legged, looking kind of rough.
All right, everybody. What else? What does everybody else do about this thing?
I guess is Solar close enough to Solar Strike it?
He is.
Well, good deal. Let's do that.
Yeah, roll your damage. I'm gonna say too that Solar sees Mind Doc floating above him, trying to perform magic on it, and he is not. He's like, oh no, no. We're
You know
gonna
what, like, if Solar's there, Crow's still staring him down, like, come at me.
With that, I'm gonna have Ruckus move up and attack as well. However, how far was Ruckus from it?
About 30 feet, if I remember correctly.
Where's the Ruckus?
Quick question. Refresh my memory. Was Solar in healer form or steel form?
Steel.
Okay.
So that's 24 points of damage.
Correct. Oh, and I have one tune of battle going, don't I? No, that's not right. I came in to turn undead with Otis.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh.
And I did not activate the Bard's Charm. I just came in and just. That's right.
Yeah.
Stood on business.
Stand on business. Stand on business, cuz. Stand on business, cuz.
I stand on business.
It's still one of the funniest freaking troll videos I've ever watched. That couldn't have been pleasant. I was all crumbling up that wrapper and it's just in the microphone. It begins to rain, guys.
It begins to.
And then you're gonna have Ruckus attack it as well. All right.
Yeah.
Have him attack.
I gotta put on my glasses. I can't read.
Get him in there. Well, if he's in there, if it's in there, it's fair game. Yeah, well, maybe this is fair game. Kiai. That's a karate chop.
Do I do the _3 as well? What the hell?
Only if you hit a critical.
All right.
All right, let me explain to you how that's supposed to work. On your handouts, right? So, his attack, 2 claws, plus 20, right? You roll the 1d20 plus 20. If you hit, you do the 1d8 plus 4. It'd be 2d8. My bad. 2d8 plus 4, right? The times 2, for instance, is if you hit a critical. So just roll. So everything inside parentheses is your damage. Everything out of the parentheses is what you roll. So like bite, 1d20 plus 15. Two tendrils. One, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So 37 is a hit. Well, that's 2 claws. So that should be 2d8. I don't know why I put. So you roll your damage.
What?
So that's like 2d8 plus 4. Because he does have multi-attack as feats. So I don't multi-attack as a feat, so I don't. Well, whatever.
2d8 plus 8. Yeah.
Or 17. Boy, that is a weird roll you just did. You hit the maximum amount on one and as low as you possibly could on the other. That's crazy that.
I'm too good at the game.
All right, so Ruckus and Solar. Right, Solar, he gears up and he does a solar strike, which in his still form looks a little different too. He doesn't become this like body of light that streaks through it. He becomes this like he almost like he still forms into this like glowing streak, only for whatever reason it's more silver than gold, and when he strikes forward the light mimics what a sword would look like, kind of. It's almost like you can see like a definite point and cross guard and handle, I mean, but it's not entirely. It's not solid. It's just like a silhouette, as it were, as he shoots through that thing, and then Ruckus comes running up and just freaking daps him up real quick with a couple of claw strikes, because they realize now that this thing is on the ropes, and they're they're not standing and waiting for an invitation. They're like, kill it while it's down. What about everybody else?
Well, if no one's going to do anything else, I'll do another turn check.
I was looking into that. You can what you're trying to do is kill it with a hit. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't
That's
make
what I
it
just wrote.
you can't make it scared anymore, right? So I would save the turn check. I would just save it because you're gonna waste it in a sense. You see what I'm saying? Because there's nothing more you can really do to it. Like on a turn check, it's either kill or make it scared. And if you don't accomplish one, you accomplish the other. It's just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I was looking into that from the last time you asked, and I wasn't sure. I'm like, well, so you're only gonna get like one shot at either killing it or making it terrified if you succeed on the initial check. You see what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah, now should you fail the initial check, you can always try again.
Right.
Guess I'm gonna swing at it.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much like down for the count. Like just do to it what you will. Like there's not much I can do with it. It's afraid.
Like in taking that into account, dumping the full base then.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to move right now?
Yeah, you can move.
Okay, can I use my trotters and jump on the back of you, Quill, of use him like a human shield. But
But increase his attack.
yeah.
Okay. So you have an increased strength right now, based upon Agaragus's mood ring.
How much?
That's a good question. Let me look that up real quick. Well, okay. It works like or bear strength. Is it bear strength, I think? Is what it works like. So, what does that spell say you get to? I think it's a +4. I think it gives you a +4 to your strength, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just go with that. Let's
so
just go with that.
Give me 2 more points
Mm-hmm.
to my mod, so okay, let me remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, hold on. You said it gives me a +4?
Mm-hmm. +4 upon on top of everything else you got going on.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
So you're getting ready to like strike this thing, just to give you guys an idea what's going on, and then Agaragus, you just go scrambling up to you, Quill, and then use your trotters to just right up onto his back, and then you change your mood ring to the red, and it.
Was Android playing a tune?
Android is not playing the tune.
I can start since we're doing this like collaborative shit.
I just wink at him. How about that? He knows. He knows.
He knows.
1 second.
I just need to know so I can go try to take out more D4s.
Okay, so since I only have 1 tune of battle left to use, I think I'm just
Gonna hold up.
put it on my Bard's Charm, and for like the song that I shall play, I will give you an Inspire Greatness, which gives you the +2 to your attack roll, +1 to your fortitude, and 2 bonus hit dice, d10s.
All right.
So you'll get when you hit, you'll get a +2 to that hit. Is
Yeah.
that right?
No, he said. Did
To
you say
your
attack or damage?
Oh, attack. He said attack.
Plus
So
2
you-
to your attack, and you'll also get the tune of battle from the Bard's Charm. But I believe that I gotta roll a concentration for that. So give me 1 second.
It's another 3d4, right? If it goes through. Right.
Tuna battle.
Yeah.
2d4 for attack, I believe, and 3d6 for damage. But
Okay. I thought I had another shot.
yeah, 2d4, 3d6.
If you give it to your Bard's Charm, it still counts as a use. You know that?
I know,
Oh, okay.
but I want to free up my personal hands.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
Wise move.
His Inspire Greatness isn't a song; it's a poem. He's like, "Now is the hour."
Let you stop this motherfucker! Yeah.
Fun.
So with all of that, oh yeah, that's fine. Oh no, you only have to roll a concentration if you're syncing Tuna battles. If you're playing Tuna battle and it's playing Tuna battle.
I thought I had to do it to activate the Bard's Charm.
I don't think so. Maybe you do. I don't remember. I haven't looked at that sheet in a long time. If that's what it says, then that's what it says, so don't let me change the rules like I'm known.
Concentrate skill DC is charisma mod.
If attacked.
+10 plus every 2 bard levels, which I believe was 18. Was the DC.
Oh, after you start it though. Tuna battle is a full round action. Every action thereafter is a partial action, but a concentration DC needs to be used after. So you can activate it.
That's to activate the Bard's Charm at all. I'm reading it off of the Bard's Charm tree.
Oh.
There's a concentrate skill DC for Bard's Charm, which is 18.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Actually.
You wrote it. How do you not know? All right. So yeah, you got the tuna battle going. You've got the Song of Inspiration. You've got Agaragus's mood ring aura. You've got Plus anybody within 30 feet of Agaragus gets that mood. By the way, it works like Uquil's auras.
What's it?
And they do
Besides
stack.
for melee?
It just works like bull strength, or is it bear strength? It's bear strength. It works like bear.
Bull strength. You're thinking bear's endurance.
Yes, I am. It works like bull strength. The spell bull strength. It just gives you a plus 4 to your strength. All of them, every single one of her moods just affects your stat abilities in one way or the other. And then whatever.
I think it is bull strength, boy.
It is.
Okay,
It is
that makes
bull
sense.
strength. Android corrected me. It's bull strength, bear's endurance,
okay.
which
Yeah.
I guess.
21.
Yeah. What did you roll?
21.
41?
20?
21.
What's 9 plus 10?
What's on plus 10? Yeah. 21? See, you stupid.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hit because his defenses are extremely low right now. It's not hard to hit him. He's bound, he's cowering, he's prone. I mean, you guys couldn't. He was flanked until Mind Doc flew away, which kind of effed you on that. But you could not ask for really a much better situation than what you've got right now. So 21 is that's gonna be a hit.
Give me a second. I gotta pull up the calculator. I had that up. I guess I did.
Calculator. Calculator.
So.
Zoltan, every once in a while you feel this thing kind of like try and force itself against your wind bindings, and like like it's almost like you do have it hogtied in a sense, because like you just feel the air rope in your hand kind of jerk a little bit, and you have to kind of like yank on it a little bit to hold him. You know, like
39.
For 39 points of damage. Okay, that kills him. That takes him out. 39. Yeah, his health was at 25. Yeah. So how do you do it?
To be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine just like through all this stuff, I'm just like watching all that transpire and be like, but it needs to die. And just walks over and just fucking horizontal just slashes the fucking piss out of him.
You just with the Garrigus on your back, just with the mood and everything going, you just walk over and just slice down and just chop it clean in half. Just and for that split second there, Mind Doc, you hear it again in your head. You hear, come alive, and then it just stops.
Oh, my dream.
Yeah.
That's literally what I gotta find in the background right now. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Like all its entrails and everything are just splashed out on the ground now, and it just There's no grand like spectacle behind it. It doesn't or anything like that. It's just the second you quill chops it in half, it just ceases to move. It just returns to its unlife.
I don't just kind of sighs like, all right, one of many concerns.
The party finds itself now further down where you guys were headed. Got this dead devourer now. You've got a beheaded phantom fungus sitting there off to the side. And before you stretches the canyonous tunnels even further. And anybody wanting to say or do anything?
Otis is actually gonna fill Android in on what happened when we got whisked away.
Yeah, I know what that happened actually.
Yeah, what did happen actually?
So, we got summoned by Hexter. If you know who that is.
Yeah, vaguely familiar.
Cool. Yeah, we got summoned by him, me, my dog, and Zoltan. He needed our help, and I don't know if you remember this guy, but Namus Blackcraft?
Oh,
You should.
The name, yeah.
You should. Yeah, we had a run-in with him.
Interesting.
So that was fun. We did manage to take care of it. We also may or may not be known as the Unholy Trinity by the deep notes, but we're not gonna talk about that.
The three of you are known as that?
Unfortunately, I tried to stop it, but they wouldn't listen, and Zoltan was just egging it on.
He's good at that.
Yeah,
Nice.
you better be careful. But there's also something else that came along with doing all that. If we happen to be, where was it? Was it the Underworld bug, or was it?
Black Flail. You talk about Hexter?
Yeah.
It's the nation of Black Flail, which sits next to the nation of White Sword and Topside. You guys would be familiar with those nations, so.
Anyway, in return for his aid in helping us defeat that thing, Hexter's going to call upon us and he expects us to answer. I gave him my word that I at least would.
So Hexor needs help in Blackfell.
We just have to wait for him to call upon us.
When he calls me on my cell phone.
And I know when that hotline blinks.
Ring. Hey!
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Android just kind of jots that one down. Like,
Yeah, I just need to make you aware should that happen to happen and we're kind of busy doing something, I will need to answer the call whether y'all agree to come or not, because I did give my word.
Very well. Honorable one.
Ever since I left the city, you.
Oh, what?
Do what, Android? I'm sorry, go.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Nothing. I'm being dumb. Just do what you're saying.
Oh. I was gonna say, Android's gonna be like, well, I kind of watched the black mist or fog roll over. I witnessed that, and me, I've decided I'm going to share with you that I spoke with Coralon, and it was he that allowed us to, or I suppose there was another one of those things further in the tunnel, and it appeared to me as though he was the one who crushed it. He may have just called in a favor. I'm unsure of the greater details, but he spoke with me, and yes, that's much praise be unto Coralon for that. You know, Lorethian in the highest, and so on and so forth.
Okay, at this
Insane.
point, Monica's gonna float down next to you and
Next
just
to
ask-
yous. Sorry.
Yeah, both of you. Sure.
Next to
I guess
yous.
over Otis.
Over Otis.
Um,
Okay.
Okay, no. But just look Android dead on and ask. You spoke to Colon Lorethian. Like just like, but basically like, are you an idiot? With that kind of expression.
I'd say more Coralon Lorethian spoke to me.
Why do I keep hearing that name?
May it forever haunt you.
What was that?
Yeah, Android
Hey,
gave
look.
Otis a high five. He's like, that's right.
So, Mind Doc, you
Takes,
are
like, it looks kind of.
you watch them like regard you like this, and it does confuse you.
Yeah.
It,
No, I was gonna say my duck is. I mean, they're just like kind of fucking stunned.
Otis and Android, roll me a spot check. Actually, roll me a sense motive.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Real fast, my doc, and then we're gonna let you continue what you were about to say.
Come on. Why are you gonna have them sense motive me?
I'll tell you in a minute when if they succeed.
I can imagine. I'm just. But. Yeah. After being fully just taken out of it by that for like a couple of seconds,
I was gonna say,
look.
well, hold on. Before you
Yeah.
do that,
Oh, okay, yeah. Do that.
I'm gonna say that Android notice when they say that to you and everything, and they give each other the high five, they look at you and they see the perplexion on your face, and it's noticeable. They see you noticeably perplexed by what they just said to you, as if you can't understand why they're being so salty. You see what I'm saying? Android notice, take note of that. That this was not what you expected. But yeah, Mind Doc, go ahead. Say what you were gonna say.
Yeah, following that up, just ask, what is your relation to Colon Baratheon then?
You're asking Android?
Yeah.
Android's gonna be like, well, formerly, I was just his friend, as were we all, you know that. After his death and ascension,
Excuse me? We know that?
yeah.
Otis is now like has a really confused look on his face, staring at my dog like, what?
So it's about this time.
should know
I'm going to interject. It's about this time that you guys hear a couple of hands start clapping behind you. And
No.
That
Okay.
that like, well, it's not really so much behind you, it's in front of you. And stepping out of the darkness, you see the drow guide that was sent with you that went ahead to scout the area. He is oh, he is the one that Lord Varun insisted go with you guys because he could act as a scout. When you guys first arrived, you had seen that he had taken off, and none of you thought much of it because it was like, oh, he must have deserted or whatever. You know, these drow, they can be treacherous, as it were. I mean, to put it politely. Yeah, to put it politely, they can be treacherous at times. But he was the one known as Captain Cossifane Demestrius. And he comes stepping out of the shadows, just clapping his hands at you guys. And he's like, good job. If you all hadn't come along, if you all hadn't defeated that thing, I don't know if we were gonna go much further. Said, well, you guys are worth your payment, as it were. After all. Says, but curious, how did you all manage to kill the second one without laying a hand on it? If you don't mind me asking.
Well,
We're just that good.
there was a favor from Farun's daddy.
Mandoxhead slowly pivots to this motherfucker and he says, you know of a second one?
He said, yeah, it had me pinned down. Said it was the one that was feeding that one all the power. So I sidestepped that one and went to the actual threat. It's like, it's impressive that you guys were able to kill the second one without even having to move past the first one.
I told you, it was Gorlon.
He's like, oh, the Lorethian. He leans into you and he kind of
It just looks very serious.
he
Right.
leans into you and kind of whispers and he goes, I wouldn't say that name too loudly down here.
Zoltan is gonna look at Android and nod in agreement.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Android wrote that song, TM.
Yes.
Nice. Nice. He just looks around and he goes, well, you all will be pleased to know that I took the liberty of scouting ahead a little. So as to make sure we don't run into any more little surprises like those. Says, but you're not gonna like it.
Well,
Boy.
Manok is lost in thought. He's not even looking at this fucker.
He says, well then, come on. I'll show you. As he walks by you, Quill, he looks at you, Quill, just kind of looks you up and down for a minute. He goes, huh. Big guy, aren't you? Just kind of keeps like looks at the chopped in half, like devour, and just kind of nods in approval. And
Yeah,
then,
Yuko's just standing there, like, kind of shrugs. He's like, okay. Okay. Like, didn't think it was anything too special.
so you guys follow him a ways down through the canyon area until the canyon structure of it just kind of dissipates. Not really dissipates, but just kind of transforms into just more solid rock. It no longer feels like you're in a canyon as much as you're now just inside a tunnel in of itself. And you come to a wall, and this wall has a singular opening to it, big enough for all of you to crawl through, except Cassius and Ruckus. The both of them are a little too big to squeeze through this hole.
Well, then Otis is gonna dismiss Cassius.
Cassius just is like, oh no. He says, should you need me again, I will come back. Do not hesitate.
Should you need us?
You got it.
I need you, Hoggle. You do? Okay, anyways. Yeah. But yeah, Cassius returns to the book in medallion form. Ruckus is kind of like pawing at the hole, like sticking his head in and then trying to get like a shoulder pass. And he's like, I think I could make it if I just tried hard enough. He looks over at you, Zoltan. It's like, I think I could. And he's like getting stuck and having to like fight himself back out. He's like, wow, and pulls himself back out. And he's like, oh, I'll figure it out.
Don't worry, there'll be plenty more fun. I'll call you when I need you again.
Fine. With that, you summon the portal, and all of you can see in this portal like some kind of foreign, distant jungle-looking land as he just jumps through it, and you see like what looks like a strange-looking animal. Looks like a cross between a deer and a bird or something. Go hopping through, and you just hear Ruckus go, "Oh, come here!" And it's like, "Rawr!" And the portal closes.
One more
Just-
time for the kids in the back.
Yeah.
Zoltan is gonna laugh about that.
Yeah, like the last thing you see before the portal closes is Ruckus just pouncing that thing, being like, I am quite hungry, and just pew. Solar now looks at you, Android, and flies back to your shoulder, and he says, I don't know how well I'm actually going to be in that tight space either, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I am kind of surprised that you were willing to come this far underground. Almost out of character for you.
He just kind of bows his head a little bit, he looks kind of shamed.
No.
He says,
That's not what I
"Ow."
meant. I just meant, I know you're uncomfortable.
He says, it's
Thank you
okay.
for your service.
He says, no, it's okay. I'll never leave you alone again in places like that. So dark that it doesn't seem like the light can't shine. Says, if you need me, do not hesitate to call me. I don't care where you're at. And with that, he like flies off of your shoulder, and the light just, the beam of light hits him for a minute, and he just shoots off into who knows where.
Well, very well then.
Casaphane's just looking at you guys now, and he goes, well, now that we've taken care of the added weight, one may say, I should warn you. And he leans against he leans against the wall right next to the hole and kind of knocks on the wall just right above the hole. He's just like with like a singular knuckle. He goes, this I've heard tale of these, though I've never found one, which lets me know just how deep in the in-between we still must actually be. How Lord Varun found a vein that leads to a place such as this, I'll never know, and it's not my question to ask. Tunnels like these usually indicate what we call down here a mouth of madness.
Down here, normally on west side.
Wow. Anyway.
We call this a little twin.
Anyways, let's stop before we get ahead. I feel the need to pull you back. I feel the need to pull you back. I'm like, if I ignore it, we're liable to go there. But yeah, he goes, this is a what we call a mouth of madness. Now, Agaragos and Zoltan, oddly enough, neither one of you have ever heard of these things. This is something perhaps above your pay grades. Let's put it like that. Like your positions within your respected societies may never have actually called for you guys ever having heard a tale of such a thing. Cassiophane, however, this is kind of his wheelhouse. And as such, he's like, we call these things a mouth of madness. Interconnecting tunnels that have been known to swallow the unsuspecting from time to time. But it's the only way through. So we're gonna have to go through it.
Maddox looks up from his pondering at this and asks, what precisely does that entail for our physical forms?
He says, oh, physically you should be fine. For a while. It's mentally that, you're gonna need to steel yourselves against. I'm not entirely sure, but from what I've heard about these things, you're basically looking at an interconnected set of tunnels and rooms that once you're in there, it doesn't like to let you go.
Oh, are you putting us in the back rooms, dog?
He looks at you kind of confused. He's like, I don't know what a back room is.
Of course you don't have stores.
You're right. Me neither.
He goes, I know what a back door. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, nope. He goes, he goes, no, these are just tunnels. That's all it is. Tunnels and rooms. There's one way in and one way out. We've got to find it. He goes, fortunately, I don't think we'll get attacked in there, as I don't think that many denizens down here like to go in there. I think even the dumbest of creatures fear this thing. Fear these things. Because I've heard some being quite small and short and fairly easy to get through, and I've heard some are well, there is a tale amongst my people of a man who went in there. They say he went of a drow man who went traveling and happened to find one. He told us of what he saw in there. Tunnels and rooms and different, all sorts of things. Things that don't make sense. Things that could nowhere near possibly exist down here. We didn't see him again for another 5 years. And then one day he returns, telling us the tale. He believed he had only been gone for a day.
Wonderful.
That's how lost he became inside these mouths of madness.
And your confidence that this is a good idea comes from what precisely?
Oh, he looks at you, Mind Doc, and he goes, "Oh no, it's not a good idea. It's just the only way through. If we're going to get to the other side of this, to find whatever that..." He says, "You know, it's odd because those little Myconid," and he looks at you, Agaragis, "as those little Myconid know of that waterway, so they obviously had to go through this thing, and yet they've been there and back. So I don't know. Perhaps a level of mental stability is if one lacks one per se, because they are quite crazy little creatures, are they not?"
Be fair.
Says perhaps the lower your sanity, the less these things can affect you. But I'm guessing all of us are quite sane, or at least close to it. He says, "Very well then."
No, my dog's actually gonna say, they're just addressing like anyone who goes to listen. This can't be that urgent. I would prefer we stop to speak. There is much I need answers to.
Otis is gonna look at Android.
Okay. Well, Android's gonna turn and be like, "All right, let's hear it."
Why are you such a bitch?
When you guys begin that, Cassifane just crosses his arms and leans against the wall, and he's like, "Tick tock. Tick tock."
I'm gonna move towards Castlefane.
Lord Varun is waiting, after all. And as cordial as he can be, he is quite impatient.
I guess now's a good time for him to learn patience, then, huh?
Patience. Yeah.
Android is gonna turn into U-Quill and give him the clamshell to call Sebastian and be like, "Hey, fill him in and tell him that we might be gone for 5 years or we might be gone for 45 minutes."
Yuquil just looks at it, he's like, yeah, Yuquil's not looking forward to this.
So,
I gotta talk to my
He's seen what happened last time. He's scared.
Yuquil, you open up the clamshell and it wom 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 wom, and then eventually a handsome, brown-haired, kind of long but at shoulder length, finely dressed gentleman with glasses answers it, and he's sitting there sipping a drink, and he answers it and he goes, "How are you doing, Android?" And then he sees Yuquil and he goes, "Oh, Yuquil. Well, hello, you tall drink of water. How are you?"
Nice.
He wanted me to let you know we're gonna be gone for a time.
Time, you say? Sebastian kind of looks at you a little perplexed. How long of a time? Because we have quite a bit of business that we need to attend to here.
Yuquil just shrugs. He's like, a time. He wasn't super specific. We just, bro, we're in the middle of some shit, bro. Like, come on, bro. You know us, bro.
He
Why
kind
you
of
why you asking questions? What you talking about? You talking about nothing. What you talking about? You talking about nothing.
Sebastian kind of sighs. He does that. He does like it's audible too. Like, as rude as it kind of sounds, it still sounds incredibly polite. Like, even when he's rude, it's still sort of like he's always checking himself to not be just like over the top about it. He's just, is he just not available for talking at the moment, or is it the fact that he figures you're the best choice because I will get the shortest amount of answers?
Both? Question mark.
He sets his
That's his answer. Both? Question mark.
yeah, like he sets his drink down and like takes his glasses off and starts pinching like the bridge of his nose. It's like, it's like, yeah, and then he puts his he like does that move with his hair to like with the whip of his head to get his hair out of his face without touching it, and puts his glasses back on. He's like, okay, well, let him know that everything has gone well with the Dragoon. That their emissaries have appeared, and we are spending money to build them proper lodgings for their business. Not attached to our house, by the way. They insisted that they have their own here in the city, but that they would continue to honor the deal for the time being and solely ship their fire wine to us to sell in our establishment, according to the contract, until said time runs out, and then they're allowed to do their own business ventures, as it were. Let him know that I spoke with what was his name now? Cordial gentleman. Quite interesting for I'd never seen a dragoon before, so I didn't I was not expecting such a civility, I guess, which is my fault, really. I shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Such an interesting name he had. What was that? Flower?
Mr. Blossom.
Blossom. I spoke with Mr. Blossom. He, yes, he is in charge of their proceedings. He is their personal liaison. And so we will be dealing with him directly, unless we want to go and speak with their heads of staff over there, as it were. So let him know that I spoke with Mr. Blossom, that we have begun production and getting their business set up here in the city. And please don't be gone for 5 whole years, if you don't mind.
No promises? Duly noted.
Just return as quickly as possible. We have a lot of business that needs to be attended to. And then he looks you up and down and kind of gives a half grin, and he says, I'll be requiring your services as well, actually. Are you...
Yuko visibly trembles.
He says... With that, he gets like his whole face grins now, and he goes, well, you are one of the lords here, and you are supposed to be in charge of our armaments, are you not?
Yuko sighs deeply. He's like,
says, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Touche.
He says, yes, Chemo is in need of your assistance, so...
Jesus Christ. All right.
says, so we will be requiring you as well. And as he's talking, he like reaches down and picks up his little hawk fox, you know, the one Lulu that he took. You know, she's got a pink bow in her hair now, and she's all done up all pretty now, you know. Like he's like, and he's petting her, and he goes, and tell him I said thank you for talking to the Bunzai about letting me keep Lulu here. And he just picks her up and he goes, I couldn't live without her. No, I could not. No, I could not. She reaches out and scratches him on the face, and he throws her back down. He's like, ah! By the 9, Lulu, that kills! He's like, okay, we're done. Click.
Yuquil was laughing the whole time, like, yeah, yeah.
He's like, he goes, we're done here. We're done. And just like shuts it off. Click. Like, no more.
Yeah, Yuquil got his chuckle. He's happy. As disturbing as it is to deal with him.
Meanwhile.
The less important conversation.
Yeah, definitely. No,
True.
but Maddox is standing there and asks, "What is this event with Coron or Lorethian that you presume everyone should have heard about?"
Well, I don't know that everyone should have heard about necessarily. That's more lacking on my part. He kind of thinks for a moment. It's like, probably. But, I would think that you'd at least be privy to the idea that Coralon Lorethian died. How much you know about his ascension is another question. But, yeah.
So you do know of me. And why is that? It seems everywhere I go, someone knows me.
Otis's face is just like pure perplexion. Just like, the fuck?
Yeah, now it's Android's turn to be confused. He does the classic, like, blink.
I'm laughing too. I just have it on mute because I'm stuffing my face full of tacos. Don't mind me.
You know, the classic Android blink where he's like, excuse me, what do you mean? Are you not like us? You kind of are.
Yes!
He kind of points to his badge, you know? Like, and then he kind of, you know, motions to Mindoc up and down, like.
Hang on. I need to ask about that badge actually. Like fucking out of character. That would not be present. I'm imagining.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah, I guess by Android.
When it looks at the badge.
Like, yeah,
right?
Mindoc wouldn't. Yeah, Mindoc
right.
wouldn't have that badge on him.
Yeah.
By Android's like assumption, that's personal choice.
No, for sure.
You know, he would just assume that you would remember all of this anyway. You know.
But yeah, no, it might have been. Yeah, proceeds with like just to look at the badge, like sort of trying to study it. In fact, you know, I'm gonna go as far as to say I'm trying to like analyze its properties with arcane sight. I'm guessing there's nothing.
Pull it off and brandish it to you. Like, what do you mean? Like, do you not remember this?
No.
Are you not one of the?
Why should I?
You?
Inglorious few.
Kill it till it dies!
Say I am. What do you remember then? Of my presence?
Oh.
But this time Yuko walks up. You should be dead, motherfucker.
Dead.
Like, yeah, I second that.
We assumed you might have been for a time, anyway.
I'm more concerned with how you presumed to know me in the first place than what you thought of my status.
Piece of shit.
Well, we
Murderer?
thought you were our friend.
He just sort of takes like a step back and like puts his hands on his head, like just like it's just tired, and says,
Well, we have hardly the time to tell you the whole story. By our recollection, you traveled with us for quite some time. He's careful with how he wants to word this in the sense where he's like, it was by our perception that we were betrayed by you.
Yes.
I'm giving you this opportunity to kind of clear your name, but it seems that you have no recollection of us whatsoever. He says, so that raises more questions from us as well, as I'm sure you understand. He kind of nods to you.
Is there something
No.
that I can roll to study Mind Dog just to see, like, what the hell's going on? It's like a checkup, if you will.
I can check to see if he has a pulse by cutting you.
Nice.
Do you have your zone of truth prepared?
Oh, you right.
excuse me.
Wait, do I? Where is it? Please tell me I have this done. I do. I do.
No.
I'm using
Speaking of which, Mind Doc, when you looked at that badge, I mean, it was just metal. There's no real arcane properties behind it. I should
Yeah.
clarify. Yeah, it's just a metal badge, you know? So, Otis, you cast Zone of Truth, and, yeah.
Supposing I notice this.
Oh, you do. You've got Arcane Sight active.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you see this zone just appear around you guys, and you hear Castaphane just say, "You know what? I don't really care for the topside, like world's chicken. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't really care for it too much. Like, your guys' food up there is kind of weird. Like, your fruit just grows on these trees. I mean, what is a tree?"
Yuko just looks at him. He's like, "The fuck do you mean?"
He goes, "Well, really, what is a tree, anyways? I mean, honestly, like,
What do you mean? What is a tree? You have a. He points at Garrus. It's like a bigger version. One of. What the fuck do you mean? What are you on?
He goes, "Oh, a mushroom
You
forest."
don't like chicken?
He goes, "Oh yeah, a mushroom forest. That makes sense. And why am I even telling you all this?" And then he looks around and he's like, "What did you?" He's like looking at you now, Otis. He's like, "What did you do? What did you do?" He's
I
like,
cast the spell, and if you don't want to be part of it, I suggest you walk out of the zone.
He's like, "My mother abandoned me, and I feel like I'm afraid of being alone." Okay, I'm going. I'm going.
No, Yuko's calling after him. No, what do you mean you don't like chicken? What do you mean?
Can I follow? Can
You
I
don't have to. I was
follow?
gonna tell you straight up what's going on.
No, not ask, like, just, magical know-how.
I'm gonna follow Uquil and him.
Yeah, like you Quill's just fine. What do you mean you
Yeah,
don't like
Yuko's
chicken?
not letting it go. You don't
No.
like chicken?
He goes, your steak is okay. Your steak, your roast, that is fine. But chicken, I just don't understand its principle. I just don't. And he's just so you quill Zoltan and Agaragis by proxy because they're riding Uquill's back are just, they just kind of move off to the side, like out of the zone to go stand off. And he goes, let me tell you something. Down here we have something kind of like chicken, but it's less stringy and it, and yada yada yada. Moving back to Mind Dog, Android, and Otis.
I was having fun with my conversation, sir.
When Otis is casting the spell, he's gonna tell Mind Dog, "Look, you want answers, so do we, and this is gonna help us both. So I suggest you just let it happen."
No, okay, like independent of the
Same
conversation,
thing I said
everybody
to
should
her.
identify whatever the fuck this spell is doing more precisely.
It's a zone of truth. That everybody in it has to tell the truth. You can fight it with you can fight it with a will save if you want, or you can just let it happen and see what happens. It's completely up to you guys, all of you. By the way,
should yeah, okay. I should like to cast this. I'm going to, in fact, PM it to you. You know that one.
Yeah.
No, I don't know that.
I used it last session. It's got the link. Cool. So
Okay.
Understand. I
Okay.
see clearly.
However, that won't affect the zone of truth, because it gives
detect influence or read.
Yeah, but it gives it says what it actually foils. It says will even foil limited wish, miracle, and witch, and arcane eye.
Well, it says all devices and spells that detect influence or read, and then it says even though, so like not limited to.
I see. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I guess you can try to counter-identify if you want. I'm doing that covert.
Well, what in okay? So just play it out.
Yeah.
Just play it out. Yeah. There's not
be more
much.
careful with your spell casting, lest someone. But no, he corrects himself. Says, "Lest I take it as a threat," and leads to say, "I understand your meaning, though."
I was going to respond with, "Don't worry, if we wanted to kill you, we would have done so already."
From way over on the side, you hear, I understand you have something like a chicken. He's not lying! I want that.
yeah, he's like sharing it with you now. He's like, see, it's good, right? It's good. It's kind of better than your chicken. It's less stringy.
I don't know about that, but it's good. I'll give you that. It's good. Where can I find these?
He goes,
You might need these.
you know what the problem with your chicken is? The problem with your chicken is you can never be too sure about your chicken topside. At least this, is trying to kill you while you're trying to kill it and eat it. I tried, me and a group of your
That
guys
makes no sense.
We found a group of your chickens out in a field one day, and it bit one of us and turned us to stone. I mean, what is that even?
That's different. That's different. That's we're not gonna talk about that.
And then Otis has got to follow up what he said, like, just as you have questions that need answered, so do we.
Yeah, let's get back to this conversation.
Fucking.
I think ours is better. It's more entertaining.
In response to stating you also have questions, Maddox is gonna just fucking dismiss them and ask. So you indeed traveled with me then,
Yes.
as you recall.
At least some version of you. I don't know what to say about you now, but we did indeed.
All I can really tell you is that I was actually tasked to keep an eye on you, and I failed.
Horribly, I might add.
That seems likely.
Wow, ooh, don't go down this road.
Perhaps then I will learn more through your questions. What is it you could possibly want to know from me?
Well. And
You say you need answers.
Scratches his chin and he's like, "How much do you remember of your background? Because if you don't remember traveling with us, then our questions might be kind of moot."
I recall nothing from you other than what I've observed. Which has been sort of things for a moment unknown. I suppose since you are in... Oh, actually, the place is called Lorethian, right?
Do what?
Oh,
What's that? What's your question? I'm sorry, I thought you were asking him.
where's Yoshi at?
Yoshi's in Lorethian.
Yeah. He says, I have followed you guys' movements since you were first in Lorethian some months ago. And then goes, I recall not traveling with you. So while we're in this field, what can you tell me based on that?
So
Yeah, we should have killed you.
you've been shadowing us since we went to Lorethian, went through the underground, went to Pengshun, and have returned. Is that correct?
What? It sort of like looks like he loses composure for a second. He's like, oh, well, yes, I suppose that is correct.
So, and Android just kind of closes his eyes for a second and then pinches the bridge of his nose. And he's like, There's a lot to explain to you, I suppose, then. And, perhaps at this moment in time, and he kind of grits teeth and looks down at Otis, and he's like, perhaps at this time our aggression is a little unwarranted if he doesn't remember.
Fuck that.
Notice is going to suddenly blurt out. I was like, wait, if he doesn't remember, I can't be mad at him about Milo anymore. Damn it.
Milo, that ain't even right.
I'm still so salty.
Android shakes his head. He's like, that ain't even right, man. Alright, well, let's... He kind of turns and looks back at Uquil, and he's like, I don't know that we really have time to go over all of this right this moment. We journeyed together for a long time.
I guess we'll just
What
have
are you
to fill
even
you in
doing,
over
Sir
time.
Urchin?
I almost died in the snow after chasing after you and Otis.
You died by falling.
You did die by falling. And then Andrew
It was
starts
funny.
laughing. He's like, ha, yeah, you did.
As you say the thing about
You got turned to
the
stone,
snow,
too.
Mando... As you say the thing about the snow, Mando pulls out a little marble and just kind of starts rolling around in his hand as he talks. But... He asks, what are you... Oh yeah, to read he asked earlier, what are you doing then that is so urgent? Not broadly, but specifically, down here.
Everything.
When the next time that Uquil does that, Cassifane like reaches over and smacks you on the like across the head, kind of just. He goes, now pay attention. You keep jumping into that conversation. I'm trying to show you how to play this game because at this point he's teaching you like a dice game that they play in the underworld. He's like,
I can do both. I can do both. Watch. Give me the dice. Give me the fucking dice. Give me the fucking
he's
dice.
like, you can't even chew bubble gum and walk. Here, just pay attention. And,
Give me the dice. I'll put 10 on it.
anyway, so we go, going back to this though. Yeah, so sorry. Whose turn was it to talk?
Android's just gonna be like, well, I understand your point that you don't necessarily see the urgency in the task that we have at hand, but we are on business and we do have to get to Sebastian. And there's a lot that has changed since you traveled with us, but that doesn't even matter to you because you don't fucking remember. So
Mad at you for it either.
kind of starts to get angry.
Yes, we
and
can!
Starts reeling it back in, and he's like, "But it's okay. It's okay. I just don't necessarily know where to start with all of that."
And Doc thinks for a moment, and then looks straight away there's a simple, like he's had like the grandest idea, and says, "It is simple then. I will travel with you, and as we travel, you will tell me what you know of this."
Fair enough. It sounds like we could be in this hole in the ground for anywhere between a few hours and a few years. So let's get that underway. But from what I know about you in the first hand is that you began your journey with Otis and Uquill, if I'm not mistaken, before you met me and Tyrone. Now looks down at Otis as he starts to kind of walk back towards Cassifane and Uquill.
It's at this point I want to. Oh, go ahead, my dog. Go ahead. You were gonna say something.
No, never mind. Sorry, I just it took me a moment to figure that it's in. Yeah, you imply kind of a just continue filling my nook in as you walk. But yes, no, all good.
Oh, I thought you guys were done with the conversation. So I was gonna ask him.
I understand now.
Well, my question is to you, Quill, Otis, and Android. How much of this do you believe? Just personally.
It's fucking you, Quill. What do you think?
He's lying. He's a liar.
Yeah. He wants him to fall on a sword, and Yuko wants to be the bearer of that falling. Anyways.
What about Otis?
Otis is gonna take into account what has been said, but still kind of keep his guard up.
Yeah, Yuko's just playing nice because Android's kind of like told him to like chill. He'll kill him without a second thought. Like,
Oh yeah.
he's like, he told him to chill out. He's chilling out. Say the word.
What about Android? What does Android think about this whole thing so far? Now, what does Android believe?
Android is trying, against his better judgment, he's trying to treat it as like an innocent until proven guilty sort of thing. And he's like, the way he's looking at it is like, this could be a test in a sense. You know what I mean? To be like, I don't know, fourth giving of an opportunity of redemption or something. You know, like, am I being too hasty to try and turn against Mindoc, or should I try and give him a chance? You know what I mean? Because the way Android kind of sees it is like, maybe we didn't even give him a chance to be anything but evil in the first place.
Right.
It's not my fault.
So you guys come walking back up to Cassiophane and Zoltan and Agaragis. And speaking of which, what does Agaragis think of all this so far? I mean, you're just kind of chilling on Uquil's back now, which has become kind of a comfortable spot for you. You've gotten so used to traveling with Uquil at this point that he's just become a comfortable mount for you. But what is Agaragis's thoughts on everything that is happening now? You know, the introduction of Mindoc, the adventure you guys are on. Like, what is Garagis's thoughts on this? Garagis has been kind of quiet this whole time, just taking it all in. So I'm curious as to how Agaragis feels about all of this.
I mean, he's pretty chill. Kind of absorbing everything that's being like said, but like, you know, trying to piece together all the thoughts, all the points, I guess.
Okay.
Drama.
The drama.
Lots of drama.
Lots of drama. How about Zoltan? What is Zoltan's take on all of this?
On the Mindoc situation?
On everything going on with Mindoc, the situation you guys are currently in, everything. What is...
Oh, Zoltan could care less about Mindoc, and Zoltan just wants his time frame back.
Of course.
He's like...
Zoltan's still salty that he got showed up by Mondoc.
I am, matter of fact. Zoltan is not care for this man.
So you guys come walking back up, and Cassiophane, he's like Uquil rolls like these looking stones with numbers like etched into them, like these strange numbers etched into them, and they look like it's kind of a high roll. And Cassiophane says, "See, nope, you lost." And he takes that 10 gold that Uquil said he'd put on it. And Uquil, you're just kind of like, well, that looked like that was a good one. You know, that looked like it was
He's like,
good.
wait a minute, something about this. They're like, what?
Cassiphane's like, nope. See, you can't roll that twice. Just because I rolled that M1. See, if you roll it again, that's an automatic failure. See, I told you to pay attention. I told you to pay attention to the rules.
Can I laugh at this and say, damn, you suck?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Uquil's in the middle of being like, I'm thinking you're making up, and he says you suck, and he's like, I'll cut you. You don't understand that I don't understand that I'd be some...
With that, like, everybody walking back up, Cassiphane's like, oh, everybody's back now. And he stands up and looks at everyone, and he goes, you guys ready to go then? And he pockets the gold.
With that, I'm saying he got scammed and laughing at him.
Are we, did you all get your, issues worked out then?
For now.
I sort of looks at what they were doing and just mutters, "What is this foolishness?" Yes, I believe we can proceed.
He says, good. Then let us enter this mouth of madness and see if we can, survive it. And he takes you guys over to the entrance again, which is sitting in the zone of truth. And like Cassiophane gears himself up to enter in, and before entering in, because he's in the zone of truth, he just looks at you guys and says, my father was a slave. I sometimes try to overcompensate because I don't want people to look at me the same way. And with my mommy issues and everything, I don't feel like I'll ever be good enough. And then he just goes in.
Did you cheat?
He just goes in. He doesn't even hear that. He just goes in. He says, no time! And then into the hole.
Yeah, Uquil just looks at Andrew and he's like, strange guy. Kind of funny, though. Just walks in behind him.
Uquil.
My dog looks at Zoltan and says, "At least not all of your kind are so weak-willed."
Oh.
Damn.
Who was trying to talk to Uquil just now? Who was going, Uquil?
That was Android. Uquil, give me back my clamshell. I loaned it to Ellis one time and I lost it for a long time. That was the worst decision I ever made.
Uquil just kind of chuckles. He's like, I don't want the fucking thing.
Thank you.
He's like, and he said everything's Gucci with the Dragoon, bro. said it's all good. He said, hurry home though. He wants to cuddle. We got a lucrative deal going on. He said something about Mr. Blossom.
Oh yeah, like
That's
you want to know
that's
who
his
that
explanation.
is.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know what that is, but I don't know. He seemed a little too peppy about it, but that means nothing to me. But he said, yeah, come back at some point, please. We got shit to do. Is kind of what he said.
Zoltan and Android, and even Otis, kind of, because Otis, I think, has had one run-in with Mr. Blossom, but not really, actually. But Zoltan and Otis, or Zoltan and Android, you guys hear him say that about Mr. Blossom.
Shivers. Shivers.
Oh, Zoltan's boyfriend has got a new boyfriend in my liaison.
It was never my boyfriend's.
You cool just raised his eyes like, oh, you play both sides of the field?
I get
I'm gonna
bored
tell your
every now
girl.
and then.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell your girl.
So you guys all enter into the tunnels, and you realize that this tunnel is not an extremely long tunnel. It's not like this big, long stretching. It's just a short, tight journey, and then boom, you find yourselves in a room. The room in of itself is just a square room, mind you. Nothing real fantastic about it, except that what sets it apart from the rest of the underworld is the fact that it's all worked stone. It reminds you of just like this square, we'll say like 30 by 30 room that is all worked stone. The floor is worked stone. The walls are worked stone. And besides the tunnel that you just came in, you've got one tunnel directly in front of you and one off to the left of you. Cassiophane is standing there and he's like, huh. So far, so good. Nothing too crazy or outlandish about this. And there are torches on the wall to light the room up.
Yeah, Yuko's just sitting there like smoking on a cigarette, and he kind of looks at Android for a second, and he's like, speaking of which, I don't kill him right now? Just kind of nods at at fucking Mind Dog.
Oh,
He gets to breathe another day.
yeah, no killing right now. We're, well, he says he doesn't remember, his journey with us. And, we're in the process of filling in the blanks for him. He says he caught wind of us and started shadowing us around the time that we were in Morethian, before we went to Pangshun, before we went through the underworld, you know, before we met, what was his name? Arak.
Arak.
Oh, fancy man.
Yeah, he kind of looks to Mind Dog. He's like, which, begs the question, what exactly made you decide to start shadowing us in the first place at that time? When you caught wind of us, what was the inspiration for you there?
As you begin to ask this question, like, Cassiophane just kind of looks at you all because he's like inspecting one of the holes, and he just looks at you all and he goes, I don't want to be that drow, but I feel like all questions and things like that should be withheld until we find our way out of this place.
Oh, okay.
There's no telling, the longer we tarry, there's no telling how much time is actually going by.
I have a major question. Well, like minor question, major.
Or
that's
for
not
who? Like
obvious at all.
Cassifane or what?
No. For you as the DM.
Oh, what's that?
How does no direction work?
No direction?
Yeah, like
I don't know.
like you get-
Send me a link to it, and well, okay, hold on. You probably don't have a link. What is it? A spell?
Tool.
yeah, it's a level 0 spell.
You instantly know the direction of north from your current position. Effective in any environment in which north exists, but may not work in extraplanar settings. Your knowledge of north is correct at the moment of casting. You can get lost again within moments if you don't find. Okay, right.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, instantly know from north of your.
boring.
But may not
Humble.
work in extraplanar settings. Yeah. Okay. I mean, what it's gonna do is it's gonna act like a compass. If you need to find north, you're gonna need to know.
Hey, don't make me put that song on. I got that shit on my playlist.
Yeah. Don't do that just because I don't know about what do you call it?
No. It's a Nintendo product. You definitely don't do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't want to. Yeah, boop 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 boop. Yeah, we'll get in trouble.
And we're done for it.
It's all over.
Dang it, you'll get popped.
Anyways, but yeah, it's about this time that Cassifane does look and say, "I can scout. I'm definitely decent enough to try and scout and find our way through here, but this place does have a way of turning you around. So, at any time you want me to scout, I will at your insistence. But until then, I will leave discerning which way we should go up to you as the group." That's his explanation for it. As a DM, I'm going to tell you, you guys have exactly 5 uses of Cassafane's direction. No? It's not an insta, okay, this is the way we should go. He will have to roll something to make sure he himself doesn't get turned around. But his odds of at least picking the right direction can increase your chances of going the right way, as it were. See what I'm saying? But there is a chance you guys could still get turned around. There's a good chance you guys could still get turned around just picking your own direction. But yes, in front of you, there is a tunnel dead ahead of you, and there's a tunnel off to the left. So.
Tunnel to the left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you said there are torches on the walls.
There are.
How far can we see down the tunnels? Do they just?
Oh, the tunnels are dark. Yeah, they're pitch black. Yeah. You can't.
Are there any like small creatures running around us?
Nope, this place is completely bare, not even a cobweb. In fact, you find it odd that there's lit torches on the wall, as in, who lights these things?
With that, can I pull out my sword and summon ba-da-ba, my Mycadin work? I think it's what they're called, Mycadin workers.
Mycadid workers?
Let me see. Ba-da-ba-ba. The one day could be used to summon a junior, Mycadid average. Okay, so if I was to summon the elder worker, how would that work?
You summon one, and they last for a certain amount of time and then they go away. But yeah, they're just Mycadid, you know.
Alright.
An elder worker is more apt for combat. Like they can fight a little bit better than, say, your typical. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you want to summon a Mycadid?
Yeah.
Okay, so you summon yourself a. Oh, what?
Oh no, do that first.
Okay, so you Zoltan, how does that work for you again? Is that with your sword? Is that how that works? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's with the sword.
Okay, so you summon yourself. You draw your sword. What is that sword called again? I can't even remember.
Montgomery's razor.
Zugdamoy.
Is it Zugdamoy? I thought it was
Yeah. Zugdamoy.
Zugdamoy.
Yeah.
Zug, zug.
Yeah. So you pull out Zugdamoy's razor and you summon much to like a Garagus's surprise, you summon a elder mycated worker who is just like standing there looking completely confused, you know, for a minute there. And he looks at you, Agaragus, for a minute, and he says, "You." Before the razor begins to glow, and he suddenly becomes kind of zombified for a minute, and then he looks over at you, Zoltan, and he says, "What can I do for you?"
How good are you at scouting?
He says, I'm a worker. Scout tunnels all the time."
Alrighty. Could you help us get out of this tunnel from the find the exit for this tunnel?
He looks around and he's like, I can try. I'm not sure where I am. He says, but which way would you have me go?
I'm gonna have him take the one to the left.
Okay. I will return. And he goes into the tunnel to the left.
Is it just two ways?
Huh?
How many directions are there?
There's two. There's three. There's the tunnel you came in. There's one right in front of you, and then there's one off to the left. So he goes in there and he's gone for a few minutes, and he hold on. So you guys wait a few minutes, and then you wait a little longer, and then you wait just a little bit longer to like a point of like it starts to begin to feel uncomfortable, and then eventually he comes crawling back through the tunnel, and he's just kind of breathing heavily. He's like, he's like, oh, I found my way back. He's like, that way got me lost.
Alrighty.
He goes, but the room looked a lot like this room.
I shall try to scout as well then, and I will take crow form.
Wait just a second before you do that, Mind Dog. Let me try something. If you don't mind.
Okay, yeah. He'll hold off, like, as you say that. Yeah.
I'm going to cast Omen Apparel.
And what is Omen Apparel?
I will send you the thing because that's a lot of words.
Oh.
You can summarize. I'll let you
You said
summarize.
reading
Thank you for
hard.
allowing so many casters in the group.
You cool cast, smoke a cigarette, and sit down.
Yeah. He's like, well, we are definitely out of my wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
A brief
With that,
supplication gives you
I
a
want
moment of
to
vision.
shoot the dice with the good old Uquill.
Get it's on the
That would be such an awesome thing to do.
Okay, I see. So I need to roll something. Okay. Easy enough. Easy enough. I'm gonna roll something in secret.
Don't do me dirty now.
Ooh, secrecy.
It's hearsay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Splendor. There's a tomb.
I started thinking of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Exactly.
Oh, got a jar there.
Okay.
We got did dirty. That's messed up.
Probably.
So, which direction are you trying to immediate with? Like, which direction?
Which direction did the scout go?
He went to the left.
We'll look the other way.
So you look down that way, and you don't receive any warning of danger. Seems safe.
Okay. I was going start to agree, but like I think this way might be the safest bet. Don't everybody jump at once. Damn.
I said, Yuko just looks at him, raises an eyebrow, and he's like, "You want me to believe you?"
Yeah, you see android back there kind of just like drawing a map on a piece of loose parchment, you know? He's like,
Why'd you say
"That
think?"
leads to an X, forward is good."
Okay.
Like, should we, I don't know,
Yeah, it's
mark the wall or something to indicate that we've been here?
Yuko
Don't think
pisses
that's a
on the
bad
wall.
idea.
Actually, speaking of which, I will make a. I'll pull out my quill and make an inscription on the wall of just like.
Yuko pees on the wall in the symbol of like draconic.
Draconic.
Is
My
Marcus
dog sucks.
territory.
I treasure hoard pictures.
It's one of those Yuko's been here looking ass.
But actually, you know, question. This is random, but can that quill be used to? This is me stretching things. Can that quill be used to just like put down my fucking arcane mark without needing to cast the spell, or no?
I mean, what do you mean arcane mark? Like,
Arcane mark as the spell of. I guess I need to.
You
I'm
can,
sorry.
so you can
Okay.
use it to inscribe whatever you want. It's just that you can add a spell to it. It won't have, if you're just drawing something, it won't have any spell properties. But in order to transfer a spell into it, you spend a spell slot to cast a spell into the mark. Any sense?
Yeah. So if used
But you
normally,
can-
it has no magical properties other than I guess. Just
Yeah.
kind of
Other
being
than the
done
fact
with
that
stuff.
you can burn into anything raw.
Spell used.
But it can be used to just, it can be used as just a regular writing quill.
Yeah. Okay, in that case, yeah, I'll just leave like an obvious arrow of like the direction we are going as we walk along. I'll do that every like, basically, I guess whenever the last one is sort of out of sight, looking back.
I'm just gonna mark the room as 1 and just keep going.
Yeah, and actually, I was actually gonna say I'll also put numbers on each of the arrows. For flavor, that's probably in like Sylvan's fucking character system.
You guys notice that Zoltan's little Myconid has disappeared back down the left-hand side tunnel. For whatever reason, he went back.
He found something.
Oh.
I don't know what he found.
I don't know if I want to go down there.
Yeah. So Otis is over there casting spells. Uquill's pissing on a wall. Android's trying to write a quickly written map on a piece of parchment. Zoltan's over there trying to carve things in there, and you guys watch as Mind Dog pulls out a quill and starts burning an arrow in the wall.
Yeah.
Casaphane's just leaning against the wall in a corner watching you all. Just kind of with like a half smile on his face. Something about this amuses him. Watching you guys just all like do your thing. Meanwhile, Agaragis is just holding on to the back of Uquill as he pisses on this wall. Yeah.
Right.
Agaragis is just hanging out at this point, just hanging out.
Not in front of a mushroom.
The
Mushroom
mushrooms.
head meet mushroom head.
Exactly.
Agaragis, you do take note of Zoltan's sword though, and the fact that it can summon Mycadin.
Motherfucker, I'm getting robbed again.
Mother.
I fucking hate this game.
He goes, mother. I'm just saying they take note of it. They didn't know you had it until now.
Because I've never used the qualities of the sword until now. I don't want to use anything shiny anymore.
Shiny.
Agaragis, do you have knowledge of history? Or do you have?
Moodring to intelligence.
Yeah. Yeah, you could change your mood ring whenever you want. Yeah. So you're like boom boom. I know you've got at least 5 points, or you should at least have 5 points in knowledge of religion. I was gonna say I'll let you use that instead. If
Yeah, that's okay with me. If that's okay with you.
it's fine. So just put the 1d20 plus 5 plus whatever the mood ring gives you. That's gonna do whatever that's gonna do. Because I don't know if we actually put that on your character sheet or not, that you should have 5 points. Everybody begins with a base knowledge of religion, 5 points. So Zoltan, if you don't have it either, put that on your character sheet as well in your knowledge, that you have at least 5 points of knowledge of religion.
Let me
Oh,
make
and here
sure
I throw out special because of my background.
You said knowledge of religion, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So I'm just gonna add 5 points in there right now. Okay.
Now I can know everything.
13. So, and that's with all your bonuses, correct?
Yeah.
You know what? Just roll it off your character sheet. Actually, just go into your skills and just roll it off of there. That way, it adds it up. Because you should have it in your abilities, +4 or whatever in your intelligence right now, plus the 5 in your knowledge of religion. It'll be in your skills. And then in your knowledge. See, it likes the rolls off of its page a lot better than it does when you type it in. Notice. That's why I was like, yeah, that's why I was like, do it that way to give you a fair go at it. Okay. But I am going to need you to get rid of that temporary +4 to your dex. I do see it.
Oh, word.
Yeah. Oh, word. Anyways, though. So
Does it need to go though?
Yeah, but does it need to? But yeah. So you see. I'm just gonna say okay, and then wait till you're not looking at my page anymore and forget. So. So you're looking over at Zoltan's sword, and as he used it and everything, and that just, and the fact that he can summon myconids with it and everything, and that just strikes you as off. And you begin to think about it for a minute, and you realize that what Zoltan has, based upon the description you now have of that sword, because that sword looks like a well, it's got the handle of the sword, but the crossguard looks like a mushroom cap that is growing out, and as its stem begins to grow out, the stem itself turns into an actual bladed sword. And you realize that is the legendary Zugdamoy's razor. It is a holy relic amongst the Myconid. You had believed long lost that and when I say lost, it's just that Zugdamoy has not given it to any Myconid ages.
And you meant to give it to me, right?
And no, I didn't.
I like it.
What bothers you about this so much is that it's a Myconid holy relic. Why would Zugdamoy allow a drow to have it? What is
My father's a gangster.
what is
I don't know. I just found it on a dead drow.
yeah, like what is well, that's the thing, like why does Zugdamoy, the mother of the Myconid, why is her holy sword in possession of a drow? It should be with the Myconid, according to your recollection of it, and yet a drow has it.
It's gonna be.
Something about that just doesn't. It's not so much about Zoltan. Let me put it to you like this: it's not so much about Zoltan. It's the fact that Zugdamoy gave it to the drow, and I mean, it could have easily just accidentally fallen into the hands of Zoltan. He is that kind of person who just kind of falls. Yeah, he just kind of falls ass backwards into things. But it's the fact that how did a drow even come to get it? There is a. Despite yourself, you could say perhaps, and I don't want to dictate how Agaragis feels because they are your character, but there is a level of betrayal there. You know, it's just undeniable that there is a treachery. Don't really know if it's because of the drow, because of Zoltan, because of Zugdamoy, because of the Myconid. Something is just not right about the fact that the drow have Zugdamoy's holy relic.
We all know it's Zoltan.
Could be.
So with the rest of the party, which way do you guys go? You all got to move eventually. You're not going to get out of this place standing in this room. I'll tell you that right now.
We might. I'm gonna have to live my life.
Playing dice with you, Quill, right now. What do you want about?
Yeah, so we came to the mass consensus that to the left is bad, but to the that going forward was good. Was that what it was, or am I wrong?
The Mikey had said there was a room like this to the left. I don't know if that's a good sign.
But he did.
Oh,
say
I
he
can
was
say I
wrong.
didn't sense any danger to the right
Or forward. Yeah.
or forward.
Okay, well, there was no danger going forward, but Mike and Ed got lost when he went to the left, is what he said, right?
Yes.
Then let's go
Yep.
forward.
Alrighty.
By
As
Android
we are
vote.
walking, I would like to cast Foresight,
Foresight?
which I can link to you. But essentially, it's the one I showed you to tick off that was like you like sense danger before it happens, basically.
Okay. Okay, so you cast Foresight, right? I will say this. You don't sense like danger, say. You don't feel like you're walking into some kind of like ambush. That makes any sense. No.
Ongoing thing. It's like for it'd be like 200 minutes.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. It's completely fine. I'm not trying to weasel out of that at
Oh no. Just,
yeah.
So we're on the same like. So I get updates, but yeah, cool.
Yeah, okay, well I'll keep that in mind. If I'm gonna ambush you guys with any kind of creatures, I'll let you know if you're about to walk into it. Fair enough.
You'll be able to shove Android in front.
So you guys go forward through the tunnels forward. Correct?
Yep. Right.
Do you guys take the one forward or do you take the one to the left?
I'm going forward.
Forward? Okay, just making sure.
Yeah,
I thought you
forward
all.
was my vote.
Okay, I thought you all had agreed to that one.
You said they're dark, right?
The tunnel itself is dark until you start to enter. See, it lightens itself up
And
as
then
you
it's
enter.
got the torches or whatever.
Yeah, into the next room.
Okay, gotcha.
So you guys enter the next room and it's like the room before. It's a 30 by 30 square room. Completely worked stone, perfect. You know, you guys get the sense that you're like just in a downstairs room in like a castle or even a dungeon, only much cleaner. You know? Just perfect brick stone, just gray stone lining the walls and the ceilings, all completely worked, nothing jagged. Again, it's strangely clean. Torches on the walls, only now you have a tunnel to your right and a tunnel to your left.
Oh boy, another one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is gonna be a long ordeal.
I look at Otis and ask, how many more times can you use that spell?
Unfortunately, it was just the once.
Shall I?
Shall you what?
He sort of shrugs as if that is like enough for him to decide for himself. And I'm gonna take the
You're
crowbar.
gonna have to give me more than should I? Like, what are you about to do?
No. I'm saying with about. No. Magic like he asks if Otis doesn't know straight away, then it's just gonna take the crow form and just start flying down both passages at once. Not the big one. Big one's staying.
Should you what? I
No.
missed that.
Magic was asking a question, then decided that it wasn't a question and just took the crow form.
Oh, and took the crow form. Okay, just wow.
Yeah.
You guys watch as he just like he turns into like an amalgamation of just tons of wings and beaks and everything that's in humanoid form, and then it just kind of shrinks and bursts into how many crows is that? Like 10?
That is, I think, 23 at this point.
Oh, 23 crows.
It's murder.
Yeah, a murder of crows. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really what I should have said. Just a murder of crows with one like large crow that you know has to be Mind Dog because it's the only one that looks, distinguished in a sense.
Hmm.
It's slightly
And,
larger than the rest of them.
Mind Dog themselves, they will stay back, but the others will fly down either passage as we. Well, yeah, no, I'll just let them do that.
So your crows go down the passages, and much to your dismay, Mind Dog, Link breaks with them the second they are out of your field of. It's
Nope,
like they
I'm
just
reverting
are gone.
back to normal.
Yeah. Huh. Here's the problem with that. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I was about to.
Be like, no, wait a minute.
So mad.
Yeah. You
My heart stopped.
you revert, you begin to revert, but it hurts. Actually, there is something about this. It does hurt. It hurts because you're calling them back and they're not near you, and it causes you a lot of pain because it feels like you're having to pull them through thick mud or something. Like something is not right here. You can't quite put your finger on it, but it's like trying to pull them through some kind of like gelatinous substance or something thick that's barring them from you as you through force of will just banish them so that you may take your form. And then you guys watch so much so to the point where Mind Doc, you are in extreme pain. Is it safe to say, like, I mean, I'm talking like this hurts. This is probably one of the worst things Mind Doc has ever felt physically. Now, you're not taking physical damage from it. It is just it's a mental kind of like damage, I guess you could say.
Oh god.
It feels
Hang on, I
like
just realized.
let me put it to you like this, like every bone in your body aches. Your skin is on fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your head is throbbing, you know?
So given my form, you still get the pleasure of ensuring in your head is just a growing psychic scream of pain.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Everybody roll me.
This fucking bird just falls.
Everybody roll me a will save. Even you, my doc. Now that I think about it, yes, because there is a certain psionic level to this. Yes, everybody roll me a will
That's
save.
forbidden here. You said it was.
Psionic was
You
a
told me
mistake.
early
Psionic-
on.
No. Psionic was not the word. He meant telepathic.
No. That's what he said. He said those abilities were not allowed in this campaign because he's a bitch.
No, I never said they weren't allowed. I said they weren't allowed for you.
See the fuckery?
His technically isn't psionic, but it is psionic in nature. It's
24.
Because normally he can communicate with you in this form. So now he's lost control of it. So it's just bursting out in a cry out of his mind into all of your minds. You see what I'm saying? It technically shouldn't. It shouldn't work this way. What did you roll, you Quill?
24.
24? Okay, so Otis, Agaragis, and you Quill. Mind Doc, you managed to survive it long enough to take your form, but like you're on your knees breathing heavily. Sweat is just profusely pouring down your face. Your hair is wet. Your hands are shaking. Android Zoltan, Well, okay, so what everybody hears in their mind is this like mind-shattering scream of agony all of a sudden. I suppose I should roll for Castlefane too, now that I'm thinking about it. And Mind Doc kills the freaking guide. Okay, yeah. So everybody hears this like this blood-curdling scream that just fills all of you full of agony. You all for that split second feel his pain. And Castlefane like stops leaning against the wall and slides down it, gripping his head. He's like, you Quill, you grab your head and you hit a knee and you're just in a lot of pain. Otis, same thing with you. Like your body begins to convulse uncontrollably as you fall to the ground, just shaking. Even you, Agargus, you fall off as Uquill's back because normally you're quite immune to these things, but this is something that you've never experienced before. And the best you can do is just place each hand on the rim of your mushroom top and just roll around, just kind of like, you know, making little micated squealing noises. Android, Zoltan, and Zoltan, the both of you feel it as well, but Zoltan, you surprisingly brace yourself against a wall for a minute. And what does Zoltan actually tell himself that like steals his nerves against this like mental like anguish that he's suddenly feeling?
Like during the whole entire ordeal with
yeah.
that screaming in his mind?
Yeah, how does Zoltan focus himself that he doesn't just like fall down like the others?
He thinks back to his mother singing. He tries to still his mind from when his mother sang lullabies to him.
Okay. Android, what does Android do to steel himself against this?
I'm gonna say he like catches his breath and grips his badge. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Like thinks of Coralon type of thing, like
yeah,
relying on the. Okay. Yeah. Good night. I don't know what the wizard did, but he did it.
Oh my stars.
Yeah. Everybody else
Had worse consequences than I expected.
Well, everybody else had takes. Wait, wait, I did that wrong. I was about to wreck everybody in the group and I realized wrong thing. Everybody else takes 3 points. 3 points of let me look at this to make sure I'm and this isn't permanent, but let me make sure because well, yeah, I guess it would be. Okay, 3 points of intelligence damage.
Sorry, what?
Everybody who failed the roll takes 3 points of intelligence damage.
Damn.
Your brain just got slapped around a little bit, basically. It will come back. It's not permanent. 3 points of it. Mind Doc, you survived it as well. You passed. It's just
okay.
It's just Otis, Uquill, and Agargus and Castlefane who took that 3 points of. But here's the thing, Otis. I'm gonna need you to roll now because you are currently shaking uncontrollably. What is it? A D4, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought you were doing the D100 instead.
Is that what it is? Is it
That's what you've been
D100?
having me roll for it.
Okay, then it's a D100. Yeah,
If you want me to roll a D4 this time, I'll do it.
Do
but-
we have it pinned in your comments? Because if I can't find.
Well, I mean, when I
where-
first brought it up to you, I mentioned the D4, and then instead of doing that, you were doing the D100.
Yeah, I think I did do the D100. I just can't remember exactly. I can't remember exactly how I was
Okay.
trying to find it because I had it in your comments. I know you need to roll. Let's see.
I mean, I have it pulled up right here. You want me to just copy paste it to you?
Please. Please do. And then I'll save it myself. That way I keep meaning to save it every time we do it, and then I forget because I get caught up in whatever else. But yeah. No, it's a D4. It's only if you roll a 3 that you have to roll the D.
Okay.
So roll a D4.
Ah.
He ain't feeling nothing today.
No,
Yeah.
you are incorrect, my good sir.
You might as well, because you can't do. I like the way that you have that saved. I'm going to like that is way like that is not how I worded any of that, but you captured it perfectly, the essence of what that is.
Say it ain't good.
No, it ain't good. It ain't good what happened. Okay, so on top of all of this, Otis, you take that 3 points of intelligence damage, and you begin to it unlocks the pain that you suffered. Your like body and soul are fighting each other again, trying to separate. One is trying to go back. Your body's trying to, or your soul's trying to go back to Mount Celestial, while your body is being racked from the tortures of the 9 hells. And the pain of that is so fierce that it completely knocks you out. Like you scream out in pain, just agonizing pain, and then you faint. And now Otis is completely knocked out for we're gonna say 4 rooms he's gonna be knocked out for. He will not return to you guys until you have at least traversed 4.
This is potentially nearly the worst a magical effect has backfired on me in this game. Holy fuck.
This is potentially the worst place in the world that I have ever sent you guys. Oh, I'm enjoying this so much.
So
I could have
Did
asked.
you know that it was Mindoc that screamed like a pansy?
I mean,
technically, yeah.
to be fair, I don't know. Like, honestly, I would have you roll like an intelligence for that to see if you can discern. To see if you can discern that.
Intelligence damage. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, because it could be Mindoc, it could just be this place. You can't be for fair. You know
I
what I
will
mean?
say,
all of 15.
Because I've reverted form, right? Like back to elf.
What did you roll? You Quill? Are you eating?
15.
Are you?
Yes, I'm eating.
You are no. I mean, are you eating meatloaf?
Yes.
That looks like the bomb, my guy. Anyways, he's like, yes, I'm eating. It's like, no, I'm not against that. I was just looking at I'm a fat guy. I'm looking at what you're eating. Yeah, so mistakes were made. So with that said though, 15. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you Quill, once you get your senses back, you realize that really wasn't this place. That sounded like Mindoc's voice just screaming out in agony. And as your vision stops blurring and you're able to get your senses, you see Mindoc's just laying not laying, but like he's on his hands and knees in the center of the floor, just breathing heavily as his hair is wet and sweat is just dripping from his face, just puddling on the floor.
Yuko looks at him, and then he's looking at everybody else.
The only ones who are on their feet are Zoltan and Android as they're kind of breathing heavily, but they haven't experienced anything bad. Agaragis is just laying there kind of shook. How does Agaragis feel right now, having gone through something like this, never having gone through anything quite like this before? Most Myconid are pretty immune to this kind of stuff. And this did not, this did not play by the rules of the natural order of things. So how does this make Agaragis feel right now?
I mean, he's not necessarily pleased.
So Agaragis looks a little pissed too.
Nothing would be able to tell.
Yeah. Casaphane's over there kind of breathing heavily, like pinching the bridge of his nose with his thumb and his forefinger, just kind of like, oh, good grief.
Yeah.
And
You close up.
he reaches into his pocket and flicks you a gold coin and says, I cheated. I don't want to go into the afterlife a cheater.
I'm gonna look at you
Just
so
sigh.
said, told you so.
Yuko just sighs and catches it, flipping off.
He goes,
Zoltan,
yeah, that's fair.
And he
That's
looks
fair.
at Mindoc, and he looks at Otis, and he's like, "Don't ever fucking do that again." And you're carrying the little one. He's pointing at fucking Otis. And he just grabs Agaragis by the arm and just starts
Not leave me with my
fucking
dog.
dragging it.
Mindoc just between pants, just kind of like doesn't even say anything in reply. Just gives like a little like, ah.
Yeah, Otis is completely knocked out. That's something that, like, the two who still have their wits about them pretty well is the fact that Otis is knocked out Android and Zoltan. You guys can see that Otis is just completely KO'd on the ground. And something else I'd like to point out is that's kind of sweet that Quill like grabbed it. He spent enough time with the Agaragis now that it's just kind of like natural for him to like just want to protect them.
Yeah. It's not a protection thing. It's like more of like he's so used to like the little like he used to have to carry Otis around and shit, right? So he just sees Otis like not being, you know, Agaragis not being Agaragis, so he just like grabs Agaragis by the arms and dragging him along the ground towards Zoltan and them like, God damn it. It's like I'm only carrying one small one today.
Mush mush.
Sure. Sure. So
he's like, I've got a headache.
Yeah, but like eventually you guys all kind of regroup and Agaragis like returns to up on their feet and everybody's back on their feet all except for Otis. Mindoc, at this point you've stopped sweating as badly and you're back on your feet. And yeah, now you have two options still, left or right, and you have an incapacitated Otis. Sorry, Otis.
Yeah. So I. 5 minutes. Not need to. Yeah. Okay. Just a sec. No, that wouldn't help. Okay. Can I like mage hand carry Otis? Is that a thing?
Yeah. You sure
Cool,
can.
I'll do
I've beefed up Mage Hand to an
Yeah,
extent.
I've heard you say that before, so I was like, oh.
Yeah, I beefed it up because the idea is that like a lot of gnomes, gnome illusionists can use Mage Hand to just grab themselves and fling themselves somewhere. Like, haha! Today is the day that you thought you were gonna catch Puddle Snap, and then boom.
Puddle snap.
Yeah, Puddle Snap. Puddle Snap.
Oh,
Spits
hang
on the ground.
Although,
Yuko looks at Android and he's like, what the fuck? No, he's still rubbing his head. Where the fuck are we going?
Good question. Why did that happen? Was it because Mindoc turned into birds?
Don't know, but it was him.
Which
My-
way did you go,
Mindoc says, yes, something backfired.
Which direction did you go?
All of them.
All of them? That was not a good idea. That's why that happened.
Casaphane's like,
Okay.
this place is extremely resilient to things like scrying and stuff like that. It can lie to you.
Let us
It's like,
move out of this place.
it's like whoever.
Yuko says, fuck it.
He's like still rubbing the bridge of his nose, and he just like looks up at the ceiling for a minute as he like his nose begins to bleed a little bit, and he's like, whoever made this place is a dick.
Yuko just nods, takes
Alright.
out the coin that he got reproffered from his bullshit. And he's
What-
like, heads right, tails left, flicks the coin.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
I hate to complicate this, but Mage Hand, it says you move things as a move action. Yeah. Is that
For the
how you roll it? Like, can I not move while I move?
For the purposes of
Yes.
what we're doing right now, don't worry.
Okay.
You're
Cool,
not in
great,
combat, so just picture that this like celestial hand is like holding Otis in its palm, just following you along. And just
Nice,
you
'cause the
know,
alternative is
while
not
Otis
pretty.
is just sprawled out on it, just sleeping like a baby. He's just
Nah, I'm being drugged by the feet. My head's just hitting every rock on the way.
yeah. Otis's head is just bouncing.
Well, that's kind of how my dog's walking, so probably.
It's not doing any damage.
It looks like Linus's blanket, how he drags it with his. It's just. No, Otis is being held in the hand. It's not doing any extra damage like that.
The intelligence damage didn't come from the scream. It was this. No.
Yeah. But yeah, so you guys, what'd you say? Heads left, tails right? That you said?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so you guys go right. All right.
Sorry, we forgot about full set already.
So you guys begin crawling through yet another cramped tunnel. And you come out into the other side. And this time when you come out to the other side, the first thing all of you notice is the feel of warm sun on your faces.
Well, that can't be right.
And you step out and you're looking at this bright blue sky just up above with the sun and everything, and you're standing in a field of flowers, beautiful flowers and trees and things. You look around you and you see nothing but sprawling fields for miles until you see 3 different directions, right? According to where you just entered, so you entered in through the right? So directly in front of you, if you're looking at it like that, directly in front of you, you see a town, sprawling town of nothing but houses, cottages that all look the same. To your left, you see a path, a dirt path leading you into a forest. The forest doesn't look menacing or anything. It's got butterflies and that around it. And off to your right, you see a dirt path that's taking you up into a mountain, like up a mountain path. It's a mountain.
Yuko looks at our homeboy and he's like, so on a scale of 1 to fucked, how fucked are we?
Casaphane's just looking around. He's like, So the Drow aren't particularly religious. We tend to look at Loth kind of as our goddess. But some of us have our own secret deities. A lot of us worship different outsiders like Asmodeus or Jubilix, or not Jubilix, but Grozit, for instance, the Demon Prince. Some of us are even known to revere Corlon Lorethian a little bit, oddly enough, because he is technically our father.
He's the man.
He smiles. Says, I'm, no offense, I'm kind of a Grozit kind of guy myself. I like the sexy debauchery. Grozit,
Top up.
he goes, Grozit has promised me that he's gonna get me out of this. But he's pretty sure, and he looks at you, Yuquil, and goes, you're screwed.
Huh? Yeah, I can show you.
And actually, it's at this point that we have to end tonight's session. I do have work in the morning. It is 11:02. I am sorry. I know it's just starting to get real spicy, but look at it this way. That leaves something for next week.
How do I fix my dog?
Next week. Next week.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey,
Glad to be
the
of
cool part
service.
is we've been able to blame something on every new party member so far. So you're just this is like a renew. You know what I mean?
yeah, you're right on.
This was your
par.
fault.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, you don't remember the last adventure anyway.
Exactly.
Yay!
Something's got to be your fault.
I must
That's
say,
how this
it's
group
gonna
works.
annoy me so much as a player, like remembering shit but not being able to reference it in character.
Oh no, yeah, for sure. No, I get you.
Oh, if Yuquil fucking he hasn't parsed that yet, don't let him parse that. His mind up will be so fucked.
Oh?
Well,
Oh, he'll lie out his ass. He don't give a fuck.
I love that.
personally, I think there wasn't a lot of action at tonight's session. I'll give it that. Like, the fight kind of ended a lot quicker than what was originally supposed to happen, but it had to kind of fall in line with the previous session. So, so even though I didn't get to do exactly what I was planning on doing with the Devourer, I'm still happy that we made it to the mouth of madness tonight.
I'm annoyed you kept on interrupting my fucking dice game.
Yeah. Well,
You always say you want character development. I'm over here trying to develop my character and
so
get some
sorry.
funds.
I'm so sorry, you Quill, that your character development seems to come at the most inopportune time of when, like, real important
when it's supposed to happen.
story plot is happening.
That's who he is.
Yeah, well, I mean, in a weird sort of way, that's still character development. Now everybody knows that Yuquil is going to develop his character at the that Yuquil is going to develop his character at the most inopportune times.
They are the most opportune, I'll have you know.
Hey, I'd say it's character development. He's kind of chumming up to Cassiophane a little bit, you know, like, you know.
I mean, he seems like an alright enough chap. He
Yeah.
said something about hookers.
Yeah, he likes
That'll always get
debauchery.
Yuquil's attention.
Yeah. Anyways, and that character development goes right back out the window. So anyway,
That is character development. I have 4. Well, we got to get to the 5th, but we're not going to talk about that right now.
Oh.
I mean, we might just go for a half dozen.
I do have a question though. Did Agaragos climb back on Yuquil's back up onto Yuquil's back? Did Agaragos decide to just get right back on his back, or what? Is Agaragos still awake?
I mean, he was always like intended to keep hiding, kind of behind him.
All right, so yeah, so at this point right now, Agaragos is back up on Yuquil's back, like, yeah, forward march, Master Blaster. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean something like that.
Yeah. If
I
you
wouldn't stay there very long if I was you.
yeah.
I'd like to think subconsciously it's begun to just creep in that Agaricus points somewhere and Uquill goes.
Yeah.
Well, out of the whole group right now, Agaricus and Uquill have been down in this place probably the longest at this point now. They're like, yeah, they're the two that have come to the realization this place really sucks. Why does anybody
all
live?
the dick.
Like even Agaricus is like, boy, other than my little grove of Myconid, boy, the rest of this place sucks, bro. Like, why does anybody leave here? Zoltan's like, this is why I left. This is precisely why I left. This is why I chose not to live here.
Place is ass.
Yeah.
I was having fun teleporting around realms until a motherfucker stole my time frame.
Oh, I love the underworld, man. I love the underworld. This is only level 1, baby. No, I love the underworld because I get to do all kinds of crazy stuff down here. So, yeah.
Goblin.
Yeah. Yes. Well, so we will pick up next week's session right here at the at your newest room, if you want to call it that. Which direction shall you go? Shall you head towards the mountains, towards the city, the town, or towards
Over yonder.
the forest?
Otis has been taking a nap.
It is completely up to you.
Go
Yeah,
on, Otis.
Otis is just out for a while. We've got 3
Yeah,
more
he doesn't have to
rooms
worry about this
before-
bullshit because he's taking a fucking nap.
We've got 3 more
It's
rooms.
just like our first few sessions, but like reversed.
You know, facts. Big
I'm
fucking
my
facts.
yeah, my
Alright, so you know what? This equals out. I tried to save you guys by running in, and you know now it's just paying back the debt of gratitude. You know.
Oh,
Sure.
okay.
okay. That reminds me. I'm almost done with the initial work on the next set of videos I'm going to do. That is going to be a compendium for our sessions called Adventures in Loxos Legends, where I'm going to go back and retell the first years before we started recording, so our audience can catch up with all this history that you guys have been through also. So yeah, so all that stuff you guys are talking about, that the audience will get to eventually see it and learn its story. So still working on it a little bit. It's going to take a little while before I get it out there, but I'm going to try and catch us up to at least our first recorded session, which again, our first recorded session is pretty hilarious because there's no real introduction or anything. I just pressed play and said, okay, we're recording. And it's in the middle of a fight that Agaricus and Zoltan were in. And so anybody listening to that would be like, what the heck is going on? I have no backstory here or anything.
That's accurate for our group.
Yeah. We've really come a long
Welcome
way
to the show.
we've come a long way in our production, y'all. So, in 9 years we've been running this. So, I know I say that a lot. I sound like a broken record, but I mean, I don't know if it's
You
sunk
say
in.
a lot of things a lot. They're used to it, bro.
Well, but here's the thing, like, I don't know if it's really sunk in with you guys or not, but 9 years is a long time for the same campaign to run. Most people don't make it 9 years like that, not even with the same group. You know, and like I said, the fact that we've had people come back to finish the dang story, that says something. And that's not me as a DM, because I mean, Lord knows it's not because of my DMing. It's because the story you guys are crafting is one that sticks with you. So I want y'all to keep that in mind, that the story you are writing for me, the story you are writing for me is a memorable one, you know? So
We'll do that again for people that didn't catch that?
no, we're not going to. Anyways. It is
That's why we can't have no shit.
yeah, but no, it's so. I mean, we'll keep it up, and I think we have legs. You know, I think we're gonna finish this
I mean, last time I
eventually.
checked, I have two, but
Yeah, eventually. Well, that's why I said plural legs. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. With that said, let's just close this out. I want to thank all of you Golden Wonders out there who have been listening and watching. We really appreciate it, and we hope you come back for the next one. To them old school gamers, thank you guys again for joining me for yet another session and helping me craft a memorable story, as I said before. I mean this from my very heart and soul to you Golden Wonders and to you old school gamers. I love you all. I could not have done this without any of you. And with that said, I'll come back now. Stay golden. Say goodnight, everybody.
Adios.
Peace.